Did I stutter?
He has time, launches it to the end zone. Touchdown! Terrence Williams!
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
The 2011 winner of the Heisman Trophy is Robert Griffin III, RG3!
Welcome to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Langoliers, base hit to center, and the Baylor Bears win their first Big 12 tournament championship.
And their fat little girlfriends are telling them what they want to hear, which is how great you are.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Yep, just ready for OU.
You can't handle the truth.
Here's Drake Toll.
Welcome into the Pickell and Glow T Bears Den. It is Friday. Not only is it Friday, the biggest part, the best part of this Friday is it's March Madness Friday for the first time in 2 calendar years. Baylor is back in the tournament as a 1 seed against Hartford today at 2:30. We've got a loaded show for you to prepare for it. I'm Drake Toll. That's J.D. Pickell. Armstrong, Sims, and Andrew Robertson are in the studio today. And I feel great.
I don't want to jump the gun. We right now in this one room have 4 perfect brackets as it stands right now. Big old goose egg in the loss section for everybody around here, all right? So I'm just saying, stakes continue to be high. Also, sorry to the bing, bing, bing. I didn't know we had the bell on here, so I was trying to be the bell for you. Didn't see the bell was right there, so I wanted to clear the air right there.
What are the odds that our brackets are still perfect in the studio by the time it hits 2 o'clock today and the show's over?
I would say 100%.
100%.
Wow.
100%.
Between the 4 of us?
How many games will be played at 2 o'clock?
There's
Like
a
6.
fair amount of games that will have already gone on. Colgate and Arkansas should be done. Virginia Tech, Florida should be done.
No, by the
Drexel, Illinois is close.
By the time that comes by, by 2 o'clock, only 2 games will have completed.
Okay, so
point.
there's a high percent chance.
There's a possibility.
My Colgate boys, my toothpaste need to pull it out.
It's not guaranteed.
Here we go.
You brought the toothpaste.
Dude, this is the first of this is seed money. This is seed money right here. That's gonna happen. Drake is right too. I checked. Has fluoride confirmed.
We need to plant those and maybe they'll grow some babies.
You gotta water it. Gotta water it.
You gotta nurture.
Do you use Colgate?
Use Colgate.
I'm more of a Crest guy.
Really?
See, Burt's Bees. The Burt's Bees whitening toothpaste. Best whitening toothpaste.
I didn't know they had toothpaste.
I can't use whitening toothpaste. Yeah. My gums are sensitive.
You know what I do? Also, salt and baking soda. You just put salt and baking soda in a container together, wet it. Dead serious. This is not a joke. This is real life. This is real life.
So Colgate can't do it for you.
Dude, I don't even need to go buy toothpaste.
Yeah, I mean, you can buy baking soda and salt.
If Colgate wins a couple games, you won't need to buy toothpaste.
I have derailed us.
We got all of us if we get Colgate some wins.
Well, yeah, unfortunately.
All right, yesterday in Baylor Athletics, volleyball at Houston. Volleyball down 2-0, right? 2-0, 2-0, if you will. Came all the way back, won at 3-2. Backdoor sweep, swept the final 3 sets against Houston, won the thing in Houston. Tough match. Baylor pulls it off, takes the win. Another win to notch in their hat for the spring schedule. Soccer last night against LSU. Armstrong, what were you telling me off the air about the soccer game against LSU last night?
Well, LSU won 1-0.
1-0.
Or as they call it in soccer, a blowout.
Hey, bing, bing, bing,
That's
bing.
funny. That's good
hey,
stuff.
This guy.
Insurmountable.
Yeah, LSU took out Baylor and Waco last night. 1-0. When you get up, you're probably staying up.
There's smoke, there's fire.
And 2 smokes here.
She smokes in a Catalina.
1-0.
Catalina wine mixer.
Final score. It's a Catalina wine mixer. Baylor loses in soccer to LSU. Today, men's basketball against Hartford at 2:30. What time?
Today?
Yeah. I got a dentist appointment.
Stop.
Right then.
Do you really?
At Tooth Hurdy. Hey. This guy. 10 bonus points. Track is at the Roadrunner Invitational in UTSA today. Women's golf plays the Mountain View Collegiate in Saddlebrook, Arizona. And women's tennis is against number 32 Oklahoma. Volleyball at Rice tonight. Volleyball at Rice on Conference USA TV. I'll be watching that.
Ooh, they have Conference USA TV now?
They got it now.
Has that been a thing for a while, or is that?
We are not on Conference USA TV.
No, not yet. But is that a thing, Conference USA TV?
Yeah, I think Conference USA TV is a thing. Baylor baseball then tonight. We're going to hear from Coach Steve Rodriguez, Andy Thomas and company earlier on in the show from their press conference yesterday. Steve Rodriguez and the boys, the Burn Boys, will be in action tonight as Baylor and, what did you say? Baylor and number 10 Texas square off in Waco tonight at 6:30 p.m. Texas, top 10 team. Baylor, 10, 11-game winning streak. They keep winning. They're just winning. Baylor baseball today playing Texas at 6:30. Going to be huge.
They're rolling. The fact that they're hot's got to help, right? I mean, you like to have some momentum going into a big matchup in conference. Texas is a good ball club now. We're going to see what the team's made of and see how they've rebounded from the slow start in the season.
This weekend, not just today, but tomorrow, women's golf at the Mountain View Collegiate, track at the Roadrunner Invitational. Casey Lightfoot has a chance to break the outdoor collegiate record in track and field. He's third in the world right now.
How about it?
He is slated for an Olympic silver medal.
I would love to know how old the other two people ahead of him are.
Oh,
I would love to know like how long they've been pole vaulting.
Mondo Duplantis is 2 years older than him and ahead of him, 2 or 3 years. And then way ahead of them is some 31-year-old guy or older that's
wife and kids.
So I'm telling you, like Casey Lightfoot's going to be an Olympic gold medalist for years and 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 years to come.
He's an up-tempo regular.
He's an up-tempo regular.
He's an up-tempo
all the time. If you turn on up-tempo, you're probably seeing Casey Lightfoot. Speaking of, I know March Madness is going on today. We're going to recap a lot of those games. If you're watching out there on the YouTube, if you're watching on Twitch, you're watching on Twitter, you're watching on the Restream, you're watching everywhere you can watch right now.
Anywhere and everywhere.
Go to YouTube. Flip that thing on your TV. Go to Roku. Boop, 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 boop. YouTube. Put it on the TV. Watch it on the TV. You got one TV playing up tempo. You got one TV playing the games. And you're like, all right, I want both my TVs to be playing the games today. How do I do that? Well, put the games on. Boop, 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 boop. Put the game on one TV. Put the game on the other TV. Pull your phone out. Go to the SicEm365 app. Hit listen. SicEm365 app. Download it. Hit listen. What happens?
You get to listen.
You get to listen
and have the games on.
You get to listen.
2 games, up-tempo, Drake Toll, A-Rob, Armstrong, myself. What more could you want on a March Madness Friday?
Nope. And we'll walk you through every single game, including we're going to go through last night's games as well.
Yep.
We have JaMychal Hasty joining the show at 11:20, we think.
Fingers crossed, man.
We do, for sure. We're pretty sure. We're pretty sure that JaMychal Hasty will join the show at 11:20 today. So lock in for that. How about also this weekend, men's tennis against University of Louisiana Lafayette, softball against Houston, doubleheader on Saturday and Sunday.
A lot of Houston games.
Yep. Baseball against Texas at 3 p.m. on Saturday, and then men's tennis against Dallas Baptist. And then Sunday, what do you say? What do you say Sunday? What do you do? No. So round of 32.
Okay, fine. That's a good consolation prize.
What do you say we do a little round of 32?
I say we do it.
What did you see? I want to know your take on last night's games. What did you see out of last night's games you really liked headed into the Baylor matchup today?
Headed into the Baylor match. I mean, none of them obviously too relevant to Baylor. I think UCLA. Who saw that coming?
Stunned the world.
Who saw UCLA coming out? That was a lot of fun. Did you guys see the blow up at halftime between Izzo and one of his players? That was like a temper tantrum.
They were yelling at each other.
They got into it.
It was odd to watch.
That was really, really weird. Yeah. How about Drake, too, giving us a little heart attack?
Yeah.
Drake and Wichita State giving us a little bit of, what were they, -2?
Yeah,
is that what they were?
-2 didn't cover.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
And they had a free throw at the end, too, to do it.
I believe it was an all-time bad beat.
That's
also,
so frustrating.
With UCLA, didn't one of their players get injured right at the end of the game?
Yes, he came down nasty.
Yeah,
he came down nasty, so that's going to hurt him against BYU. I still like the BYU pick that you and I made. I'm a big fan of that.
I love the BYU pick now because
it's still open, right? You can still, or it was prior to them winning.
We got
last
6
night.
minutes, ladies and gentlemen, to fix our brackets.
6 minutes? Is that what it is?
6 minutes until it's
6
everything's
Holy
locked.
cow. 6 minutes till D-Day. Yeah, we're showing it on the screen right
You
now.
can die by the pen.
Steven from Virginia in Pickell Labs caller line. Steven, you're on with Up Tempo.
Hey, guys. I was actually just going to listen today, but J.D. called me out when he said, who saw UCLA happening? And I want to say for a couple of weeks since this bracket came out, I saw UCLA happening.
There you go, Steve.
So I want to call that. I said that.
You got it, man. It's all yours. The smoke is all yours, and it's 100% free.
I haven't picked Grand Canyon in a single bracket.
Dang.
That's JD, please don't actually risk your mortgage or any of your rent or anything on that game, and anybody else who listens to that comment.
It's too late.
We're a couple days from that, but that's too much. That's too much money, JD. That's too much money.
My
Maybe
rent is
like
very cheap.
$5.
I think I have Winthrop winning in every single one of my brackets, I just realized. Steven from Virginia, how you feeling about your bracket 5 minutes before we go?
I feel pretty good because just the fact that the UCLA pick was something that I felt that, honestly, you don't get to pick the first 4 in most brackets. But just after watching them come out and play, and I kind of felt those games yesterday were so good. If you're ahead by more than 10 at half, you need to be worried because whoever you're playing against is there to play and going to bring it in the second half. I would say that I feel better about my bracket with Alabama in the Final Four than I do with the one with Michigan in the Final Four. But other than that, most of my picks are the same across the board. I would say that I've gone with a few rather, picks that take some gusto. When my friends found out that I had Oklahoma over Gonzaga and VCU over Iowa in the same bracket, a lot of my friends, looked at me pretty weird, but we'll see. That's what makes it fun. It can't be worse than the year that I picked SMU to go to the Final Four, and they got beat by UCLA in the first round off a Bryce Alford, 3 that missed, and I can't even remember how that all happened, but that was about the worst beat I've ever had. So it's just for fun now. Even if I only threw $20 at it, it's fun.
Steven, what is the lowest seed that is going to win today?
Does North Texas play today?
Yes.
Is the North Texas Purdue game on?
Yes.
Today? Because that's probably the one that I would pick. I don't really have anybody lower than North Texas advancing, but I do have North Texas and I do have Winthrop. I like the people who are trying to be cute with Colgate over Arkansas, but as I'm sure you know, Drake, Colgate hasn't really played anybody on the level of Arkansas all year, and that's why they're 24-1.
There we go, baby.
So that should be a competitive game, but I like North Texas. I like Winthrop. Those are probably my 2 big ones. I like Oregon State over Tennessee. Tennessee is fraudulent. Those are probably my big ones today.
You're in good company with Drizzy Drake on North Texas and Winthrop.
Yep. I like both of those. All right, Steven, Bear Games question.
Considering how well Drake's picks hit this year, I feel good about that.
Do you have a Bear Games question today?
Bear Games question of the day. It's coming. It's coming. Steven, if you could play for any one of these teams that is 12 or lower, what team are you playing for?
12 or lower.
12 or lower. So that gives you, all the 12 seeds are Georgetown. Where else are we? UCSB. North Texas is a 13 seed. You like them. Winthrop, I think, is 12 or 13.
Ohio.
I think my pick is Oregon State. I'd want to play for Oregon State because I feel like a lot of people have talked down on the Pac-12 this year, and I think in football that's relevant. But I think they are a pretty decent basketball conference, and they had some heat in the Pac-12 tournament. They beat obviously a very good UCLA team in the Pac-12 tournament, and Tennessee is not. I thought Tennessee really struggled in the second half, and the other thing I would say is I imagine because both of these schools are Power 5 schools that a lot of eyeballs and a lot of money will be on this game rather than maybe some of the other games like, ours where we're playing somebody who's a drastically different opponent. This will be a game that people will be watching. So that if you're Oregon State and somebody, my high school teammate, Troy Caupain, played for Cincinnati. And it's been a number of years, but they were playing Kentucky the year Kentucky was undefeated, and he rebounded a ball midair and put it back up in one motion, and that hit one shining moment. Oh, wow. So when you're on these big schools like that, things happen. You have an opportunity to, be in the moment.
Steven, Inside Out or Monsters University?
Inside Out was good, but I wish I could have voted for Monsters, Inc. yesterday. It was just a tough draw for them, so I'm going Monsters University.
And then how about a little bit of Incredibles or A Bug's Life?
This should be a 100-0 vote. in favor of the Incredibles. Because where is my super suit?
Talk to him.
I am your greater good. Can we say that?
Yeah.
Later, guys.
See you, Steven. Thanks for your call.
What an icon. Staple of the show, Steven from Virginia. Where in Virginia is he from? Does anybody know? Is he a Richmond guy?
Fauquier County.
Actually?
Fauquier County, I think. Yeah.
Wow. Can we say that on the air?
Yeah, Fauquier County is in Virginia.
Not my county. Don't say that about my county. We're all McLennan County here.
Hondo, Texas native. Who is it?
Based on that, it's hard to know.
G-Dub, you're on Up Tempo.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, G-Dub?
Hondo
Happy
Solo.
March Madness.
Yes, sir.
Good to hear from you, G-Dub. Sorry that we've slighted you the last couple days.
I know. I had a paper I had to finish, so school comes first and whatnot.
All about that paper.
Yeah, it does.
I tweeted JD about this last night. How I think Flagler's gonna have about 18. I think Meyer's gonna have about 14 because I think they're gonna cut down the turnovers.
I would love that.
I think they cut down turnovers about, I wouldn't say half. Yeah, let's go with about half because what have they been averaging turnover-wise the last couple of games?
Somewhere around 18. I would say probably 14 to 18 range. Probably closer to 18.
Take a look-see.
Okay, so if it's about 18, you need to cut it down to about maybe at least 12 or 10.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. Go ahead.
That gives Flagler and Meyer a better flow within the offense.
I like it. I like it a lot. I don't want to cut you off here, G-Dub.
Yep. Let's see first.
I love that. I love that. G-Dub, what is the lowest seed that you have winning in your bracket today?
North Texas.
I like it.
Yeah, I like North Texas.
They're on that with
I like North Texas win. I like that one a lot. G-Dub, how do you, let's see. Before we get into Bear games here real quick. G-Dub, matchup number one, and I'm sure, hopefully you've seen these two movies, but matchup number one has got Monsters University and Inside Out going toe-to-toe.
I got Inside Out just because I'm bipolar, just like the little girl.
Holla.
Bring it. Lock it in. Inside Out it is. Incredibles or A Bug's Life?
Like Steven said, this should be 100-0 vote. It's got to be The Incredibles.
Going Incredibles. I like it. Good pick, G-Dub. G-Dub, what else you got for us?
I know it's March Madness and everything, but how excited are y'all for spring football starting on Monday?
Oh, I can't wait.
That's gonna be huge.
I can't. It's like when you have Christmas and then New Year's. Like you have one thing you're really looking forward to, but then you're like, oh, also this is coming up too. That'll be a lot of fun. So I'm pumped. I'm really excited to see this quarterback battle.
And I want to go, man. I want to go to flipping spring practice.
So bad.
Let me in. Let me in.
They grab the fence.
And then one wide receiver I want y'all to watch out for is Jalen Ellis.
Yeah.
I think he's a true sophomore from Round Rock.
No, he's a stud. He came in really highly recruited, tore his ACL, and I think it was the Army All-American game. Just freak thing, but guy is going to be special. He was recruited from everywhere and anywhere out of Austin. He's a baller.
Shot caller.
Bouncing off the walls.
I
like that. I like that take a lot, G-Dub.
G-Dub, hey, we got Michael Hasty coming on here in a second. Thanks for your call, though.
All right, yes, sir.
You're the
See
GOAT.
you, man. Always good to hear from you. All
Go,
right,
dude.
we're going to hit a break right here. Come back with maybe JaMychal Hasty.
We're going to find out.
This is Up Tempo.
The wait is officially over. It's time for March Madness. Starting in last night's first four games, no matchup disappointed. Texas Southern rallied from down 10 at halftime to win 60-52 over Mount St. Mary's. Drake overcame a double-digit deficit to beat Wichita State 53-52. Norfolk State held on to beat App State 54-53. And UCLA made an unbelievable late-game run to knock off Michigan State 86-80. And in the NIT, NC State trounced Davidson 75-61. And Boise State beat SMU 85-84. Looking at today's games, it all got started with Virginia Tech and Florida that tipped off just after 11, followed by Colgate and Arkansas, both games in the South region. Other games to note include Baylor and Hartford at 2:30, Utah State and Texas Tech, Georgia Tech and Loyola Chicago, Wisconsin and North Carolina, and Villanova versus Winthrop. And Baylor Athletics, the volleyball team, battled back from down 2-0 to beat Houston 3-2 on the road. And the soccer team fell to LSU 1-0. This weekend includes games for volleyball, baseball against number 10 Texas, softball, golf, track, tennis, and more. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With your Ram truck from Allen Samuels, you may not have to plow through snow and mud or pull heavy loads, but you could. During the Big Finish year-end event, you get a Ram deal like no other. Employee pricing for all, 0% for 84, and no payments for 90 days. Ram 1500 Lone Star for Christmas. No other truck comes close. And ask about Big Finish pricing on Ram Heavy Duty and Ram ProMaster for your business. Happy holidays from Allen Samuels.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? By not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference. And that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs, even offering financing if that's needed. Everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrapped fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese, and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrapped fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or wacocustommarketplace.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio. Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122.
Sit down, Bob. I'm not happy, Bob. Not happy.
Now back to the Bears Den with Drake Toll and J.D. Pickell for the Blonde Boys Power Hour.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. Drake Toll alongside J.D. Pickell, joined today by JaMychal Hasty on the show, breaking down. Look, March Madness is going on, all things basketball right now. But it couldn't be a better time to have JaMychal on the show. No, considering spring football starts up Monday, Baylor hits the practice field, and things get kicked back off.
J-Mike Madness, baby.
J-Mike.
I want to know who he has winning the bracket. I want to know.
Let's start right there. JaMychal, who's winning your bracket? Who you got in the national championship?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, I gotta take the Baylor Bears, man.
There we go.
That's right.
That was a good pick. That was a good pick in my book. I think a lot of people that watch the show would agree with you. Man, tell us about what it's been like since you left Baylor. I know obviously you were one of the greats at Baylor. Talk to us about what it's been like since leaving Waco and being in the NFL in San Francisco.
Man, it's been fun. Really, just enjoying the whole process. Like, it's already been a year since I've been, doing the combine training. And time just going by fast, bro, and I've just been enjoying it and just taking it one day at a time.
Jamichael, I mean, you were on that Baylor team that had 11 wins, went to the Sugar Bowl, played against some of the best competition in the country. You saw some of the best football teams in college football. What's different between college and the NFL? How's the game changed for you?
Honestly, I really can't tell much of a difference right now. I just go out there and just play, bro. Just go out there, have fun, play hard as I can. And really, I haven't even tried to compare NFL to college. I just go and play football.
So one of the craziest things I remember watching during your senior year, is maybe just Coach Rule in general, you'll be watching kickoff and like 5 starters will be running down on kickoff, you being one of them. How much did that prepare you for the NFL game, being able to be a guy that has, hey, I've done kickoff return, all these things on your resume?
Yeah, bro, it prepared me a whole lot. Just having that special team experience, like you said, bro. This past season, I was on kickoff, I was on punt return. And like I said, just that experience from college, just doing it, it definitely helped. It definitely prepared me. And, I'm glad I had a chance to play it, in college.
Jamichael, I mean, you exploded onto the scene this season with San Francisco. There were national analysts talking about you and folks talking about you being the next breakout running back. I want to know, when you punched in your first career touchdown in the NFL against the Seahawks, what was that like for you?
It was good, bro. It was a fun experience. But in the actual moment, like when I actually scored, I was so like locked into the game. Like I was just really ready to go right down on kickoff. Honestly, like that's all I was thinking, bro. I don't know, fam. I was just tuned into the game, bro.
Toughest, hardest working, most competitive team in the brand, right? Talk to me about,
no doubt.
Man, talk to me about what your pulse has been like since leaving Baylor. Obviously, new coaching staff. What's your assessment of the team since leaving?
You talking about Baylor, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I got a chance to watch them this past season and play a few games. I watched a little bit of the Kansas game. A couple of times we was on the road, I got a chance to see them play. So it was just, really for me, it was just fun to just see them out there competing, you know what I'm saying, and playing at a high level. And, hopefully, this upcoming season, you know what I'm saying, they can, turn it up and, and get right.
Yes, sir.
For you, Jamichael, I mean, an absolute breakout game in your season this past year against the New England Patriots. I mean, this same Patriot team has won, 5, 6 Super Bowls? Unbelievable dynasty. Here you come, a rookie, exploding onto the scene, going for over 70 total yards against one of the best teams to ever do it. What was that like, to beat the Patriots 33-6?
It was, like I said, it was good, bro. Honestly, I don't even think about stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, I look at it totally from a competitive standpoint. You know what I mean? So I just go out there and play and have fun. And, the guys up front was able to move guys out the way. And really, I had the easy job of just running behind them, and it was fun.
There you go, man. In those running back room, a lot of guys still here from when you were at Baylor with Ebner. Obviously, Levis moved on, but a lot of the linemen with Galvin. Do you keep in touch with a lot of those guys still, or what's the contact like there with the Baylor Football Network?
Oh, yeah, I definitely keep in touch with my backs. Keep in touch with Love. We punch in here and there. Keep in touch with Eb. Abram, we touched in a couple of times. And a couple of guys on the team. I just try to, just touch in, keep up, keep tabs on them, see how they doing. They check on me, see how I'm doing. So, it's been great.
Jamichael, being in the NFL with a guy like Kyle Shanahan, who has moved up the ranks across the league, what is it like to play for a guy like Kyle Shanahan that has that big name in the league?
It's been great, bro. And really just seeing, just his mind for the game of football and from the offensive standpoint. It's really just been great to see, just being in the meetings, seeing, how he think about, certain things, certain situations, and really just picking up key things from him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always just being a student, just learning from him and, just soaking it all up. So it's been great.
And riffing off that, all the people that know your story, man, it's hard not to root for you. One of the best backs to come from Baylor, obviously going the undrafted route and then fighting for your way to become active with the 49ers. Take us through that journey, man. How did that all come about, and what was your mindset after realizing, okay, I'm not going to be one of these guys that walks in after, signing a nice signing bonus from the draft? Like, talk to me about that and how that all came to be.
Right. I think just my approach to the whole game, my mindset has always been the same. You know what I'm saying? Just outwork everybody. And that's pretty much been it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to work regardless if I was undrafted or went, first pick. That's just me, who I am as a person. So just working and just attacking it. And like at the end of the day, bro, you got to have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? Sir. It's a business, but at the same time, bro, if you look at it like that, it could be overwhelming. So just having fun with it, bro, just playing with my teammates, playing with the guys, and just enjoying it all.
Jamichael, you talked about working hard, having that work ethic that helped carry you into a heavy role with the 49ers over the course of the year. I got to know, being a rookie and walking into a locker room with guys that are 30, 35, adult, grown men, and you're this rookie. Did you ever feel like the young guy in the locker room, or did you walk in and did it feel normal from jump?
It really felt normal. It felt like normal. Walking into a locker room full of guys who all got the same mindset, one goal in mind, and that's to just go out and just get better every day, compete and just push each other and make each other better. So it didn't feel weird. It didn't feel awkward. It just felt like just walking into a football locker room, bro.
There you go, man. The buzz around March Madness is palpable here in Waco, but on the flip side of that, spring football starts Monday, bro. We're pumped for that. What goes into spring football in terms of what you're trying to get done? Take the people into the process that is spring football and what you're trying to get done by the end of those 15 practices.
Really, man, it can be a grind. I don't want to say it's a grind, but it can be really just depending on your mindset. But just going out there, just getting those extra reps, you know what I'm saying? Just becoming a better player, a better teammate, a better student of the game. And also just building up your body in the weight room as well. So spring ball, it was always been fun for me. Playing football in, March?
March, baby.
It's March, right? Yeah,
Madness.
March. Yeah, man. Football in March, bro. So it's spring ball was great. I enjoyed all 3, 4, 5 years, however many years of spring ball I had.
When you think about just the practice and the preparation that goes into spring ball, is it some of the tougher times that you face in football between conditioning, getting back in shape, learning new schemes? Is it really tough to go through that grind?
Like I said, it kind of depends on your mindset. If you really built for it and you really built like that, then it's really not that big of a deal. You know what I mean? So it really just depends on who you are and your mindset. For me, spring football was just another opportunity for me just to get better and just become a better player. And like you say, when you play with guys, like your teammates, guys that, they're going to sell out for you. They're going to play just as hard as you, practice just as hard as you. Spring ball is actually a fun thing, really, more than it is, a grind.
Absolutely, man. And speaking of a guy who's well accustomed to the grind, Coach Rule, man, you keep in touch with him at all?
No, I really haven't talked to Coach Rule. When the last time I talked? Maybe come around this time last year, maybe.
He's probably trying to get you, man. That's probably what it was. That was a business conversation.
Kind of with a guy like that, Jamichael, you came into Baylor in that 2016 season where there was a lot of turnaround, and then Coach Rule and the staff come in, 1-11 in year number 1 for him. But did you guys still believe?
Did we still believe in that 1-11 year?
In the 1-11 year, right.
Yeah, we definitely believe that. Even if you turn on the tape, you know what I'm saying, you can see guys flying around, playing hard, selling out. So I definitely think from a physicality standpoint and, effort, that 1-11 year, we was there. We was on point. We just, never could get over that hump of, winning ball games. And, that definitely came, years after.
Awesome, man.
So I guess you could say that 1-11 year was really just, laying the foundation, for my senior year and my junior year.
Absolutely. How fun has it been for you to keep in touch and watch some of these younger guys like Jalen Petrie? He was younger when you were there. How fun has it been to watch these guys mature and take on more of a prominent role?
Man, it's been great, bro. Just like I said, just being in them hotel rooms and watching them play, and just watching them play with that fire and that excitement, and that passion. It's great, bro. And seeing it while I was there, you know what I mean? Like, so it really wasn't much of a surprise to me to see guys go out there and ball out, because I seen it in the weight room. I seen it on the practice field, when I was there. So definitely wouldn't surprise me. I'm just happy for those guys. And like I say, I'm ready to see them turn up again next year.
How about this, Jamichael? I want to take you through a moment in your college career, your last season at Baylor, double overtime Texas Tech. About 5 yards out, you punch the ball in the end zone to knock off Texas Tech and stay undefeated. That may be my favorite play of your career at Baylor. What do you remember about that one?
Man, I remember after I scored, everybody jumped on me, and I was at the bottom of the pile, and I couldn't breathe. It was no air down there, bro. I'm wheezing. I'm like, y'all gotta move. Y'all gotta get off me. And, finally they finally started pulling people out the pile, but, they were just overjoyed for the situation. Glad that we could continue being undefeated at that point. So, bro, that was a great experience, man. Great.
Yeah, it must have been kind of like a very high, but at the same time you're struggling for air.
I'm trying to breathe.
That's tough, man. Now, I'm not going to ask.
It was crazy in that pile.
That's all. I mean, that must have been a lot of fun, though, at the same time. You'll just beat Tech.
Oh, yeah.
Man, so quarterback position, right? It's been a topic for Baylor, especially going into this next year with a new guy behind the center. When it comes to Gary and Jay-Z, I'm not going to ask you to pick one, but what do both those guys do well individually?
You know what? Zeno is a guy, man. He can spin it. It's just arm talent, arm strength. Student of the game, wants to get better, wants to learn. And really, I can say the same for Gary. Gary's a little bit more physically imposing. A bigger guy, can throw the ball, run the ball, really just super athletic. They both great at what they do. I feel like they both can provide some great things, for the team. So, bro, it's going to be interesting just to see them get out there and play, bro, and compete. So I'm looking forward to it.
You and me both.
And then, Jamichael, last question for you here. I really want to know, whether it be Pro Bowl or All-Pro, a Super Bowl, what is your goal in the next year in the NFL?
Oh, man, you caught me on spot with that one. That's a good one. Okay. My goal, bro, really to just come out and compete, play hard, and really have a lot better season than I did this past year. So really just building off my rookie season, building the foundation, and just going out there and playing, and we're gonna see what happens.
I love it. Jamichael, thanks so much for joining the show today. I'm glad you got to catch up with old JD, guys, former teammates here, getting to just talk shop. It's great to have you, man.
Man, it was great being on here, bro. Once again, I thank y'all. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You, man.
Again, that was Jamichael Hasty, former Baylor running back, who's now with the San Francisco 49ers, running over folks. They beat the Patriots this past season 33-6 in his rookie campaign, and he was one of the All-Stars. I mean, you Google Jamichael Hasty's name, and you see articles that say, like, oh, next big name in the NFL. So he's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of potential in the NFL.
And the fact that he's scratched and clawed from an undrafted free agent, became active halfway through the season, like, the guy is just a tremendous representation and example of what Coach Rule built at Baylor and what Baylor's all about, man. He's one of the best.
I love it. I'm Drake Toll. That's J.D. Pickell, Armstrong Sims. There's basketball on the TV right here. Virginia Tech and Florida facing off right now. VTech's got a 5-point lead. Make it 8. It's now 19-11. Virginia Tech on top of Florida right now. Gosh dang it, especially after that post they made. Told you guys that I really, really wanted to pick Virginia Tech, and you wouldn't let me. J.D. Pickell, Drake Toll, Armstrong Sims, Andrew Robertson. When we come back, we're breaking down our top upsets of March Madness. This is Uptempo.
The wait is officially over. It's time for March Madness. Starting in last night's first 4 games, no matchup disappointed. Texas Southern rallied from down 10 at halftime to win 60-52 over Mount St. Mary's. Drake overcame a double-digit deficit to beat Wichita State 53-52. Norfolk State held on to beat App State 54-53, and UCLA made an unbelievable late-game run to knock off Michigan State 86-80. And in the NIT, NC State trounced Davidson 75-61, and Boise State beat SMU 85-84. Looking at today's games, it all got started with Virginia Tech and Florida that tipped off just after 11, followed by Colgate and Arkansas, both games in the South region. Other games to note include Baylor and Hartford at 2:30, Utah State and Texas Tech, Georgia Tech and Loyola Chicago, Wisconsin and North Carolina, and Villanova versus Winthrop. In Baylor athletics, the volleyball team battled back from down 2-0 to beat Houston 3-2 on the road, and the soccer team fell to LSU 1-0. This weekend includes games for volleyball, baseball against number 10 Texas, softball, golf, track, tennis, and more. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With more than 160,000 alumni worldwide and counting, the Baylor family is growing. And through the university's expanded Baylor alumni program, the family is growing closer. With hundreds of local volunteers planning events in cities and towns around the country, you can gather with fellow Bears no matter where you are. So, get connected, get something started, get involved, and make plans to get together with Baylor alumni. Visit us at baylor.edu/alumni.
Don Humidor, your home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Artur Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. If anyone is curious about CBD, ask Carol and Ashley. Don Humidor in the Townwest Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
What you do in privacy is your own business. What you do in public with your truck, well, that's our business at Pickup Outfitters. In your garage, it's okay for your truck to parade around in the nude with no accessories. Hey, this is still America. But when you bring your truck out in public, it's just common decency to put an outfit on your truck. And that's where we come in at Pickup Outfitters. Put a cover on that bed. Cover your rear end with a bumper and a hitch, for goodness sakes. There are women and children on the roads. And guys, don't leave your tools exposed. Put them in a toolbox. Be proud of your truck and stand tall with a lift kit. Or improve your truck's posture with a leveling kit. Add some class to your pickup with new wheels and tires. Or dress up for a date with your new RV or boat with a fifth wheel or a receiver hitch. At Pickup Outfitters, we're dedicating to making the roads decent for all Central Texans. So when taking your truck out in public, remember your manners and accessorize it properly with an outfit from Pickup Outfitters. 220 Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way. I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
Now back to the Bears Den with Drake Toll and J.D. Pickell for the Blonde Boys Power Hour.
Welcome back to the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. It's Friday, March Madness Friday to be exact. There is a slate of 16 games going on today across the country where we'll see some of the best competition of the year in sports. Game day vibes. Is that Pat McAfee jumping into the Brazos?
The very same.
That is such a dope shirt. Where did you get that?
I got it for Christmas.
Yeah, where'd you get that? For
I think
yourself?
it's just on patmcafee.com or something.
No, Pat McAfee sells those shirts of him jumping in the Brazos?
True story, yeah.
That's genius.
Isn't that funny?
Wow.
I need it.
We'll all get them. We'll get shades and we'll get Pat McAfee shirts. It'll be awesome.
And toothpaste.
No, don't even get me started. If Colgate wins, we're going to have toothpaste for a long time.
We need a shirt that has a picture of y'all and says, lunch break vibe.
Lunch break vibes. That's awesome.
Kind of
Dog
that
walking
same
vibes. And we can just be jumping into the couch or something.
Yes. All right,
awesome.
we got on the TV right now, we got some games, including Virginia Tech on top of Florida, 21-14.
Golly.
You got Arkansas Colgate's about to tip off. You know where I'm from.
Colgate.
You guys know where I grew up.
Bro, and where your state is about to get beat by toothpaste.
Name where Colgate is.
Upstate New York.
Is it really? Wow.
Pretty small spot.
Is it actually?
Yeah, we went and played there a few times.
So today's matchups,
they're good.
Drexel and Illinois, 12-15. So that's in a half hour. Drexel and Illinois. Illinois minus 22.5. What are you thinking?
I love you so much.
You like that?
I didn't even hear the question.
Illinois
and Drexel. Yeah. Illinois. I got Illinois in my final four, so we got to roll with if Illinois loses, my bracket is busted. Lock busted.
Yeah, if Illinois loses today.
If Colgate loses, isn't your bracket busted as well?
Dude, it's definitely hurting if Colgate loses. I didn't have Colgate going that far, but I had them winning 2 games.
That's a lot of games.
Hey, did I have them in 2 games? I'll have to double check that. But I think at least 1 game.
I got Utah State and Texas Tech happens today. Oral Roberts, Ohio State. And then, baby, at 2:30, the Baylor Bears.
2:30.
The Baylor Bears play Hartford. We've been talking about it all week, and it's finally going to happen. I kind of tearing up right now. I know. I'm glad I have sunglasses on.
Here comes the tip,
because Baylor plays basketball today in March Madness in round 1, the round of 64. And I haven't seen Baylor play in March Madness in a long, long time. It's been a long, long time. And today it's going to happen at 2:30. We're about to tip off. Looks like old Connor Vanover for Arkansas.
A lot of dental jokes.
And white guy number 12 for Colgate. Colgate takes the tip.
Wow. Okay.
Of course they do.
As an Arkansas fan,
how worried are you right now? I'm not going to lie to you guys. I didn't realize how bright the lights are in here. When you go from like the normalized to the, I'm not that, that's in for Colgate too.
Nope. They never.
Oh my gosh! Offensive board for Colgate. Jeez, you guys.
What I can, what I can do right now on the stream is I can do a little bit of that. Now I'm not sure how legal that is. Probably very
unwanted cancels.
I didn't see it.
That's a steal from Arkansas.
Wow. And right back to Colgate. So yeah, for those that are watching right now, we know you're going to pull up your March Madness. So look, don't occupy.
They don't make shots in the Patriot League.
Don't occupy your TV with up-tempo, please. I watch the games, put them on your TV, but go to SicEm365 app. The SicEm365 app, hit listen, and you can listen live to all of up-tempo all day today as we break things down across basketball with the games going on. Baylor plays at 2:30 against Hartford. We got a full show to talk about that. We got the 2-minute drill coming up here in a second. We also have Sam Schwartz, who's going to join us and talk about Hartford at 12:05. Maceo Teague's mom, Barbara Brooks Teague, joins the show at 12:30. Colt Barber at 1 o'clock. This week's top 5 today. We're going to hear from Coach Steve Rodriguez. Some press conference clips from their pregame press conference before they play Texas this weekend. And we'll be talking some more things in Baylor and Hartford. How about this? Top 10 upset picks of March Madness, JD. I've got mine. Do you have a loose set for yours?
I don't have 10, but I do have a handful. It rhymes with Fulgate and Band Canyon. You rip it, though.
I got first one, Ohio. Ohio has two of the best players in their respective conference. Granted, of course, it's not the same caliber as what Villanova plays in the what is that? The
ACC?
East.
Big East, yeah.
Don't they play Virginia?
Villanova? Nova's Big East.
Ohio plays Virginia.
Ohio is the MAC.
Yeah,
we're talking conferences.
I'm dumb.
So I've got Ohio Virginia days. My number one on my top 10. I think I have this graphic. I can send it to you. I have my number one pick on my top 10 upsets that are going to happen without a doubt. My bracket also, I flipping picked. Colgate's up with the ball.
Got him on the ropes, baby.
Virginia Tech looks like Florida maybe going to the free throw line here, down by 6 against Virginia Tech in the first half. Colgate attacking the basket. Jalen Williams is playing today for Arkansas. That's big.
Oh,
but okay. Let me get into what I like and why I like it.
This is March.
With the Creighton and UCSB, these aren't even pulling up. I think you know what it is. The ESPN bracket app's crashing. I think
that makes sense.
That's so funny.
Makes sense.
That makes complete sense. Of these 10 picks, how many of them are in your bracket?
So I got Ohio over Virginia. I'll get to that. Ohio over Virginia is a lock. I like that as my number one favorite upset. Winthrop over Villanova is lock number 2. That's my second favorite upset. They're almost tied. UCSB over Creighton. Lock it in. That's happening. North Texas over Purdue. I love that. Number 4 on my top 10 power ranking list of upsets to take place. Number 5. Eastern Washington over Kansas. I love Eastern Washington over Kansas. Kansas is not quite healthy and back to their full step yet. UNC Greensboro over
Greensboro.
Greensboro.
Yeah, Florida State.
Town. It's a city.
UNC Greensboro over Florida State is my 6th on the list of 10.
Good.
Number 7, Syracuse over San Diego State. Number 8, and I'm not very confident in this one, the top 7 I have all picked in my bracket. Number 8 I have not, and that is Colgate over Arkansas.
No.
Here
Put those hands down.
Go, baby.
Those hands don't haze.
If Drake Toll is on the board,
those hands don't haze.
We're rolling.
And number 9, Morehead State over West Virginia. Number 10, Oral Roberts over Ohio State. Again, the last 3 I'm not very confident in, but they're all possible. And I could foresee that going down today and would not be that surprised. But the top 7, Ohio over Virginia, Winthrop over Villanova, UCSB Creighton, North Texas over Purdue, Eastern Washington, Kansas, North Carolina, Greensboro, Florida State, and Syracuse, San Diego State. Those will all be taking place today. I firmly believe they will all take place in the round of 64. Colgate on top of Arkansas right now. Florida fighting their way back down 23-20. Colgate up 5-2.
That's crazy.
With the ball right now.
Who would have thought that?
It could be too much.
It is so early in this game. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is March.
Well, they're the best story in the tournament. They're the best story we've had all March.
Better than Syracuse?
Colgate is up 5-2. Best story.
Let's go, baby.
It could be just too much for Florida to come back on.
I'll give you. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you give it to me.
I keep cutting you
Too
off.
much for Florida to come back. They've climbed back within 3.
All right, man.
Game's
It is
half.
March. In regards to my upsets, as I'm sure we all are well aware, yesterday what took place was, in a lot of ways, sort of my upset breakdown. We'll go back through it. Utah State. I think if they can turn off the water with Mac McClung, I don't think Texas Tech has enough under the hood to be able to beat Utah State. So I think Utah State can get it done. I said get it done about 11 times yesterday. I still believe Utah State gets it done if they stop Mac McClung. Game to watch. I'm telling you, folks, Grand Canyon and Iowa. Grand Canyon, 7 foot and 6'10". You don't think that's going to give Luka Garza some problems? If they turn off Luka Garza, similar to Utah State stopping Mac McClung and Texas Tech, if they can turn off the water with Luka Garza, I don't know who else is going to score for Iowa. So I think Grand Canyon is a hot pick to upset Iowa.
Love that pick. I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen, but I love.
You got to ride the light, like you say. You got to ride the lightning. Listen, I'm trying to think what I have that's not a huge upset. Houston and Cleveland State. Cleveland State. We went through that yesterday.
That's not a huge upset.
I just think Houston. I just think Houston streak. I don't trust Houston. Some people have them in their Final Four. I don't trust them. Some of that's a gut feeling. Some of that has no metrics behind it. But Cleveland State, they've done it before in the tournament before. A-Rob.
So is this pick because you don't like Houston, or is this pick because you love Cleveland State, or both?
More so, don't trust Houston.
Okay.
And also, I just feel like Cleveland State. I just got a feeling. You know what I'm saying? Somebody just got to ride the feeling.
They have a cool logo.
Last but not least.
Hey, hit a live bet for Arkansas -10.
Oh,
that's in.
Oh, dang.
Oh.
That's too bad. Colgate, the third best shooting team in the country from beyond the arc. What wins in March shooting does. Go ahead and book it. Colgate. The kids from upstate, the best story all tournament, the best toothpaste brand this side and that side of the Mississippi. We're booking it, folks. Colgate, they're dancing way past Arkansas. Let's ride and roll.
I almost want you to be right, because if you are right,
I want it to be, oh my gosh.
You don't eat that. Don't eat that.
Don't eat that.
I'm going to eat it, and I'm going to keep eating it every time they score a basket.
Don't do that.
every time they score, you're
Every
going to have
time.
toothpaste.
Oh my God.
You're going to have the whitest teeth.
Did you just eat toothpaste on this
He's
show?
chewing this.
I'm going to do it.
Oh my
You can't, strictly because Colgate's playing. You're eating Colgate toothpaste.
Tastes like March and madness.
Yeah, your stomach's going to be in madness later.
They're not going to feel
Look
good.
at that play by Colgate. Woo!
What
a beauty.
Those are fundamental players.
Oh, my gosh.
You've got to spit that out.
Nope. If you spit it out, then you're betting against Colgate.
I smell it. Gosh, it's terrible.
You want some? Jump. You picked them.
Yeah, solidarity.
Every 3
vomiting.
I got a little bit in there.
Hey, that's not going to kill him, though.
I'm sorry, smell my breath.
And it's worth it. Is it worth it for Colgate?
If they win, this is 1,000,000% worth it. Y'all want to play a little 2-minute drill?
No,
I do, but you can't eat toothpaste live on the show.
Yeah, his breath smells amazing.
You can blame.
Mine does too by association now. He keeps just, even his
my God.
breath from this distance.
It's diffusing.
Listen, you can't blame me. You can blame Colgate. You can blame Arkansas for not defending the 3. You can blame their head coach for giving them so many different drills to shoot the ball effectively, but you can't blame me for eating Colgate toothpaste.
Yeah, I put a little bit in my mouth, and I'm regretting the decision. My breath smells great, though.
The breath, yeah,
His
I can
breath
smell
does
it
smell
here.
great.
It smells awesome. Here we go.
All right.
We got 10 questions and a tiebreak for March Madness trivia.
Did you make this?
Oh, I made this. Yeah, Drake texted me last night. He said, "Crazy question." I said, "Crazy answer." I hope.
I'm just gonna write it down.
And I was probably the best text I've gotten in a long time.
All right.
All right, here we go.
What is the lowest seed to ever win March Madness? To win the whole thing. What number seed? You don't have to tell me the team. Tell me what number seed. If you can tell me the team, that's
Ever since they started, like ever.
Yes.
Okay.
I can tell you who it was and what seed they were.
All right.
I don't know.
And that's going to be a point for Drake.
There you go.
Number 2, how many times has there been an all 1 seeds in the Final Four?
I think I know, and I know the year.
Beautiful.
So it's only one?
The year singular?
We're going to find out.
All right.
I know. I don't know. I may be wrong. I may be completely wrong.
We all set?
Yeah, it's.
I mean, kind of.
In 2019, Virginia took home the national championship. What % of brackets had them winning it?
I actually think I saw a video of this.
What % of brackets had Virginia winning the national championship in 2019? So the last time they played March Madness.
It wasn't the highest, because I know Duke was the highest with Zion.
Duke was the highest.
That was a joke.
I think I know this.
Number 4, who has the most tournament wins from any coach?
Most
All
tournament wins
time?
from any coach.
All time. Most tournament games won. So not championships, but which coach has won the most tournament games?
Which coach?
Which coach, yes.
Games.
Oh, man. I just don't know how long he coached.
Yeah, I'm going to do poorly.
Clock's ticking.
Number 5, what coach has won March Madness and an NBA title?
Oh, easy.
I could square 0 on this one.
Oh, no.
Okay. We got, what is the only school to win men's and women's tournament in the same year?
Too easy.
I know that one, actually.
Drake's feeling good over here.
Drake's going to win over there.
What team has won the most national titles?
Finally. Getting hot at the end. Watch out.
Now, this is pretty well known. Who was the last Ivy League team to advance past the round of 32 into the Sweet 16?
I can name you one of the players, too.
Okay, Drake.
All right, Drake. Hold on a second. We're not done yet. There's still a couple questions left.
Who won the first NCAA tournament?
First.
It's like a 3-minute drill.
Yeah.
Okay.
You sound disappointed.
Yeah, it's a long drill.
I feel disappointed.
You gotta hit a break.
We got a lot of timeouts. What program has the most tournament appearances?
Most tournament appearances.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shoot. No.
Is that it? That's 10, right?
That's 10.
All right, let's roll through these quick.
Let's do it. Number 1. What'd y'all have?
I have 8 seed, NC State.
I have 9.
I have 9 seed UConn.
It was 8 seed. It was Villanova.
8 seed.
How many times has there been an all 1 seed in the Final Four?
2.
I think just 1.
I also said 2 because I feel like it has to be more than once.
I think it's
One time. It was 2008.
Yeah.
Wow.
In 2019, Virginia took home the national championship. What % of brackets had them winning?
5.
12.8.
20%.
5.86%.
Why?
Who has the most tournament wins from any coach?
Give me Coach K.
Coach K.
I also said Coach K.
Coach K with
Weasel.
97. What coach has won March Madness and an NBA title?
Boys? Larry Brown.
Larry Brown with Kansas in 88, Detroit in 2004. What is the only school to win the men's and women's tournament in the same year?
3, 2, 1.
UConn.
There we go. Which team has won the most national titles?
UCLA.
Last team to make the Sweet 16 out of the Ivy? Harvard.
Yale.
Cornell. All of y'all. Name the player.
No, I thought it was Yale.
Cornell, baby.
Is
the
it
Big
Cornell?
Red. They were dancing until Kentucky and John Wall got them.
I got that right.
You got it right. Heck yeah, you did. Who won the first NCAA tournament?
Army.
No idea.
That was a good guess, actually.
I just said UCLA because of numbers.
The Oregon Webfoots in 46-33 over Ohio State. 46-33 in 1939.
The Oregon who's?
Wow.
The Webfoots. What program has the most Kentucky?
Kentucky. I said Kentucky.
Kentucky. What'd y'all have?
Well, what was the question again?
Most tournament appearances. I just gave it away.
I put UNC, but I didn't think that was
right.
right.
I said Kansas.
Hey, so I got
you won
7.
There it is. What year did One Shining Moment first air? Anybody know?
1969.
I'm
going to go with 88.
Which program has the most
92.
Final Fours?
No.
Most Final Fours?
Most Final Four? UNC.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with 88.
Not clutch.
Very close. 87. It was supposed to air after the Super Bowl. Coverage went too long, much like this program.
I'm Drake Toll, J.D. Pickell, Armstrong, Sims, Andrew Robertson. When we come back, Sam Schwartz joins us from the America East Conference to talk all things Hartford. We're going to break down, preview Baylor's matchup this afternoon at 2:30. Right. We're getting close.
Oh, Colgate's
Speaking
up,
of
baby.
teeth, Colgate's up by 2 right now. This is Up Tempo.
The wait is officially over. It's time for March Madness. Starting in last night's first 4 games, no matchup disappointed. Texas Southern rallied from down 10 at halftime to win 60-52 over Mount St. Mary's. Drake overcame a double-digit deficit to beat Wichita State 53-52. Norfolk State held on to beat App State 54-53, and UCLA made an unbelievable late-game run to knock off Michigan State 86-80. And in the NIT, NC State trounced Davidson 75-61, and Boise State beat SMU 85-84. Looking at today's games, it all got started with Virginia Tech and Florida that tipped off just after 11. Followed by Colgate and Arkansas, both games in the South region. Other games to note include Baylor and Hartford at 2:30, Utah State and Texas Tech, Georgia Tech and Loyola Chicago, Wisconsin and North Carolina, and Villanova versus Winthrop. In Baylor athletics, the volleyball team battled back from down 2-0 to beat Houston 3-2 on the road, and the soccer team fell to LSU 1-0. This weekend includes games for volleyball, baseball against number 10 Texas, softball, golf, track, tennis, and more. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Niche Group Insurance Agency. With the Niche Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Niche Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Niche Group at 1-800-258-8302.
It takes time to reach goals. It's a truth that applies to more than sports. It goes for your financial goals as well. You work hard for your money, and you deserve an investment strategy that lines up with your game plan. And Tom Albers, your Edward Jones financial advisor, can help. If your financial investments aren't putting forth the effort you desire, stop by today for a financial review. Tom Albers, 4301 Lakeshore Drive, 254-776-7605. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. See all the things they can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
Born in Waco, Brotherwell Brewing exists to serve the Central Texas community with locally crafted beer of the highest quality. They want to bring Central Texas closer to the brewing experience so everyone can enjoy well-made beer as much as they do. For 2.5 years, they've been bringing high-quality beer to Central Texas at their location on Bridge Street in East Waco. And this football season, you need to stop by on game day for curbside pickup or stop by their tent next to SicEm365 at Brazos Parking for your pregame refreshment. Brotherwell Brewing believes in community and bringing people together to enjoy products made in their community. So for your game day, whether it's a tailgate or at home, stop by Brotherwell Brewing for high-quality craft beer made right here in Central Texas, 400 East Bridge Street, and check them out online at brotherwell.com.
Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get engaged or already married and want to upgrade your wife's ring for a special anniversary, Boozers is the place to go. With the largest selection of premier quality diamond engagement rings and wedding rings in Central Texas. They have 7 cases with over 300 styles of rings from top designers like Natalie Kay. Choose from yellow, white, or rose gold, plus beautiful top quality loose diamonds. With an in-house jewelry, they can also custom make anything you want. Bring in a picture or drawing and let Boozers create your one-of-a-kind pendant or ring. They can even use some of your old gold and diamond jewelry to create something new. At Boozers, you'll find a great selection of quality timepieces, and Boozers is the place for expert watch maintenance and repairs too. They specialize in expert Rolex watch repair for fine jewelry, watches, custom work, and more. Go to Boozers on Valley Mills and Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Boozers, the wedding ring store and more.
Car has the trucks, man. They have the one for you. Crew cab, short or long bed, silver, black or blue. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, he has the truck for you. Carr has the trucks, man. He has the truck you need. If you want the best truck, you want a GMC. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, they have the truck for you.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Well, let's be nice. Let's be nice. We don't have to go there. I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it.
Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Now back to the Bears Den with Drake Toll for a Baylor take on your lunch break.
Welcome back to the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. Happy Friday. March Madness round of 64 is kicking off today. Adam Finkelstein now joins the show. He is a scout recruiting analyst for ESPN, covers all things America East Conference, including the same Hartford team that Baylor is squaring off with today. It is Baylor and Hartford at 2:30 at Lucas Oil Stadium, as we've got the Colgate game on, Arkansas right now, Florida and Virginia Tech in at halftime, and then Drexel, Illinois about to tip off. But before all of those, we got to break things down across Hartford, Baylor. Adam, thanks for coming on the show to help us do so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Adam, here's where I want to start. If this is a team, when everybody, okay, hey, Baylor and Hartford, they're playing round one. Every Baylor fan, every Baylor analyst said, who? You know, nobody here really seems to know much about this Hartford team. What can you tell us at just face value about this squad?
Well, this is a team that's got a lot of continuity. John Gallagher's been the head coach there for 11 years. The last 4 years have been the most successful in program history. They can beat you in different kind of ways. They had a major injury mid-year. A guy named Moses Flowers, who was an athletic wing for them, went out of the lineup, and so they adjusted their lineup. They've got a lot of three-point shooting. That's kind of what they've hung their hat on over the years is three-point shooting, but they're also, in recent years, part of what's led to their ascension has been an improvement on the defensive end of the floor. Now, whether or not that's going to be able to transcend against Baylor, I don't know. But, for the most part, you're going to see about three-quarters man-to-man. They like to switch to 1-3-1 in the second half and give the opposition a change of look there after halftime.
When it comes to this Hartford team, Adam, are they the kind of squad that's going to try to slow things down against a Baylor squad that averages well over 80 points per game outside of conference play?
Yeah, without question. I think you may see them take what they'll call an early punch in the shot clock, but I think it's very much going to be a get an easy one early or play late into the shot clock type of philosophy. And I think they know they're not going to be able to win a track meet. What I would equate it to is a couple of years ago, they went down and played on the road at Duke. And I remember talking to John Gallagher at that game because they played them pretty tight. And I remember after that game, I said to him, what was the strategy going in? And he said, just 4 minutes at a time. We started the game and the goal was, at the first TV timeout, we wanted to be even. Second TV timeout, we wanted that to be even. And although I haven't talked to him about the strategy for this game, I would suspect that you're going to see a very similar strategy. And the only way they're going to be able to accomplish that is if they limit the possessions in the game today.
Tell me, Adam, we've learned a little bit more and more over the course of this week about this squad and really what they're about, not just from a play standpoint, but outside of that with Coach Gallagher and how he leads this team. What is the culture, the neighborhood, we've heard that thrown around this Hartford program?
Well, first of all, Gal is one of the most positive. I've heard somebody say it's like the matchup of the positive head coaches with him and Coach Drew there. I mean, he is very much a positive, high energy guy. I mean, to be honest with you, up here in the Northeast in the America East, there weren't fans in the stands all year long, and I really thought that favored Hartford because of Gal's ability to kind of create excitement and energy amongst his team. When there aren't fans in the stands to feed off of, you need somebody to be able to do that internally, and Gal really thrives on that. So this is a group that really does play for each other. They feed off the energy of their coach. And what I'll tell you is based on that, this is not a team that Baylor's going to want to let hang around because if they are able to get some confidence, it's only going to allow Gal to kind of sell that vision, which I'm sure he's been doing over the course of the last week. And so the longer the game stays close today, the more confidence his guys will get in that vision that has undoubtedly been relayed to them since Election Sunday.
One of the names, Adam, that we've heard thrown around all across the scouting reports for Hartford is Austin Williams, guard averaging nearly 14 points per game, 6 rebounds, almost 2 assists, and he shoots 50% from the field. Is he the key for Baylor to have success against the Hartford Hawks today?
He's really emerged in the last couple of weeks here in postseason play, but this was a team, quite frankly, that could beat you in any number of ways throughout the course of the season. And the interesting thing about Williams, he starts at the 3 for them, but some of his best basketball is when they move him over to the 4 and he can play that small ball 4. Now, in the America East, he can do that. Against Baylor, I'm not sure that that's going to work. So I don't, quite frankly, I don't know what the key is for Hartford, but it's certainly going to be more than just Williams because, again, like that, his value for them is in his ability to create mismatches. And in the America East, he does that extremely well. Against Baylor, that's not going to be quite as prevalent an option. So I think that what you'll see is if he does go to the 4, it's going to be really imperative for Hartford to be able to rebound the basketball because when they go small against Baylor, they're going to be very disadvantaged on the glass. So I would say the key is when you see Williams at the 4 spot instead of the 3, Baylor should be all over that offensive glass, even more so than they would be normally in this matchup.
I know, Adam, you mentioned rebounding and how Hartford will try to slow it down a little bit unless they can get a smart shot early on in the shot clock. What are some other key points? We mentioned if Baylor's bench can put up 30 points in any ball game, there's just no way that Baylor is going to lose. Is there a certain number or a certain metric that you look at and say, okay, if Hartford hits this, they either win or they got a really good chance of keeping this thing tight?
Well, I alluded to this earlier, but this is a team that historically has really been a three-point shooting team. They're not as reliant on that this year. They can beat you in different kind of ways. But in this matchup, I really think they're going to have to get hot from behind the three-point line. And that in and of itself probably wouldn't be enough. So if you're looking, and I know these are Baylor fans listening, but if the Hartford fans back home, if they're thinking about the anatomy of an upset, I would say that Hartford's got to really shoot the ball well. Baylor's got to be a little nervous and turn the ball over. And if you have those two things going and the tempo of the game is at Hartford's liking, maybe then you've got a recipe for some excitement later on in the contest.
Adam, one of the interesting things about this for me, no one on this Baylor squad, I say no one, almost no one, out of really the contributors have competed at a legitimate level in the NCAA tournament. A couple of those guys have seen some playing time. A couple of them have started a game there, but it's been so long for those that have, and for most of them, they've never seen this style of play. They won their first conference title in 71 years, so similar to Hartford, a lot of these guys have not seen the bright lights yet, and maybe that plays in a factor, especially late in a game, but I got to know, you, I'm sure, saw the UMBC squad knock off Virginia a couple years ago. This same conversation was being had, I'm sure, on plenty of radio stations across the country. Just, hey, there's no way that UMBC is going to knock them off. You know, they could play a perfect game, and it still probably won't be enough. What do you remember about that game from a team from the same conferences as Hartford that helped them knock off Virginia that may bode well for Hartford today?
Well, honestly, what I remember, and this is going to sound ironic, but about 3 weeks prior to that game, I didn't think UMBC was even playing all that well. So what I think it speaks to is the fact that, this time of year, a team can dream and they can pick up that momentum really quickly. And that is the threat of Hartford because there are few coaches at this level who can sell that dream more so than John Gallagher. I mean, he is a charismatic storyteller who's got complete buy-in from his guys. And, I'm sure if you've been profiling him throughout the course of the week, you've seen different guys talk about him. Doug Gottlieb tweeted something something to that extent yesterday. So I think that the takeaway there is if you let this game be close down the stretch and the Cinderella story, you allow them to develop that confidence, crazy things can happen. So you don't want to put yourself in a position where all of a sudden you're playing tight because you're facing all those expectations, which obviously all the expectations are on Baylor's back. And if it gets tight, Hartford's going to have a ton of kind of belief in that dream. I'll even go back to their semifinal game against Vermont. They won on the road at Vermont. And they did it, quite frankly, by making a lot of tough shots. They just had the momentum. They were playing with confidence, and they were making tough shots. I thought Vermont guarded them pretty well, but Hartford came in and just knocked down shots that might have been low percentage at some point, but they had that belief. And this is a team that has belief. So you don't want this to be a close game late because of the fact that they do believe in themselves and they are connected like that.
With UMBC coming from the America East Conference and, obviously Hartford shares the same league as those guys, how has maybe the face of this conference changed since that UMBC victory? And how much more confidence now do you believe Hartford has because of what UMBC proved against Virginia?
Well, that UMBC win really marked the changing of a guard in the America East Conference. The America East has been a league that prior to that was really dominated by three teams: Vermont, Albany, and Stony Brook. If you go back over the years, I coached in this league, 15 years ago. And prior to that, those three teams won the vast majority of the championship. So not only did UMBC kind of break through that big three, but then obviously they had that historic win. And, Ryan Odom is a tremendous coach. And so the dynamics in the league have changed. Albany just had a coaching change. So the America East has very much evolved in that time. But I think that UMBC win resonated with teams well beyond the America East. I think it resonated with anybody looking for a Cinderella story. And especially this year, again, amongst the backdrop of the pandemic, the sacrifices these kids have had to make. And again, especially up here in the Northeast. Remember, Hartford hasn't played in front of a single fan all year long. There hasn't been one fan allowed in any gym. So you go to these games. It's the two teams, it's the officials, the game crew, and the people doing the TV, and that is it. So I think, you add that dynamic to it. What does that do to their energy and enthusiasm? So I think that UMBC win, whether it's for teams in the America East or any 16 seed, 15 seed, it only fueled the legend, if you will, of those Cinderella stories.
With this Hartford team, I don't know how much you've heard from Coach Gallagher or maybe the people around the program this week, but does it feel like in maybe their press conferences or just the way the fan base itself is carrying that this team expects to be a part of to be a Cinderella or make a Cinderella story here? Some 16 seeds, I remember we were mentioned the other day when Hampton and Kentucky played, that dominant Kentucky season. Hampton's coach alluded in the press conference to the fact that it would take an act of God for Hampton to beat Kentucky that year. Does it feel like Hartford has maybe that same mentality, or are they ready to, quote-unquote, shock the world?
No, I think in using the Connecticut reference there for that UConn national championship that shocked the world quote, absolutely. So I think that there's, right after Selection Sunday came out, I think, or it might have been just right after they won that game on Saturday morning to win the America East Championship. I know Gal made that comment, we're going to win a game. Now, and as I said, he's going to sell that dream. There's no doubt in my mind that he all week long has been selling that possibility and getting his kids to believe. Now, any coach, I think, in that seat will tell you that as great as the NCAA tournament is, the only downside to it is that 67 teams, who are the best teams in college basketball, end their season on a loss. And I think just about every coach has that speech in mind there of like, okay, if things go bad, right now I'm selling the opportunity to make this dream. But if things go bad, I've also got to have that speech in the locker room so that they know that this was a historic season. So is he selling and getting that belief in his guys? Absolutely. But I also know him well enough, and I think all good coaches know well enough to know you want to give your best shot, but in the event it doesn't go your way, and let's face it, chances are Baylor's going to win this game. I mean, I don't need to be a Vegas odds maker to say that. In the event that probability plays out, he's also got to be able to reassure his guys on what has already been the most historic season in the history of that program. And again, I say that as someone who once coached in that program.
Wow. Well, Adam, with this team and everything that we've seen about them all week this week, we have certainly become Hartford fans on this show, just learning more and more about the coaching staff, the fan base. Coach Gallagher joined one of our afternoon shows here at the station, and without a doubt, I mean, it just seems like a really neat environment, atmosphere to be in and around. I got to know, though, from what you've seen and maybe prepared for this game to watch Hartford in the big dance, have you gotten any glimpses of Baylor? Do you know anything about Baylor, and what is kind of your analysis of the Bears, if so?
The things that I know about Baylor, quite honestly, are more based on the individuals that I got to see play, because my day job is as a national recruiting analyst for ESPN. So obviously ESPN's based in Connecticut. As I said, I used to coach at Hartford, so I get to call their games are on ESPN networks, whether it's ESPN3 or ESPN+. So for me, my connection to Baylor is rooted more in the guys I got to see play in high school, and the way they've assembled this roster. I wouldn't pretend to be an expert of, Coach Drew's X's and O's and the strategies by which they've gone and had this season. But there's quite a few guys on this roster that we got to know in high school. And then there's others. So I'll give you another example. Maceo Teague is a guy who, ironic story, he took an official visit to Boston University, which is like 90 minutes away from Hartford's campus. Tried to commit there, and they didn't take his commitment.
Wow.
And, how about that? And so, listen, they won their league last year, so they're doing just fine. But, stories like that, and to see different guys who have either lived up to the hype or proven themselves to be a lot better than anybody thought they were going to be. So most of my connections are in situations like that where it's player specific.
How about it? Adam, thanks so much for joining the show today. Before we get you out of here, we got to ask you our Bear Games question of the day today, which is, if you could play for one of these mid-major teams, a 12 seed or lower in the NCAA tournament, you got to be a member of one of them going into March Madness, who would it be?
Well, I got to pick Hartford, right? I'm sitting in West Hartford as we're talking right now, so I've got to pick Hartford. I want to hear Gal's pregame speech. I'm sure it would get me fired up, so I'll go with the Hawks.
Without a doubt. Hey, I'm excited to see it, and I know you guys are all pumped to watch Hartford in the big dance for the first time ever today. Adam, thanks so much for coming on the show, telling us a little bit about these Hawks, and I'm excited to see this ball game here at 2:30 Central Time.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
Without a doubt. Once again, that's Adam Finkelstein, ESPN scout and analyst, who does the color analysis for all Hartford ESPN broadcasts. Again, like you said, whether ESPN3 or ESPN+, he is on the call for Hartford. Here's what we got. Hartford, Baylor, 2:30 today. We're still breaking some things down in and around that game. Baylor appearing in the NCAA tournament for the 6th time in the last 7 tournaments, trying to win it all this season. Baylor is in its 13th. Did you know that, Armstrong? Baylor's only been to 13 NCAA tournaments, this being their 13th. It seems very low, doesn't it? Yeah. Which they only went to 1 from like 1950 to 2008, they went to 1, I think, which was 88. I believe. 88, I believe. If my memory serves me correctly. I was young back then, but I think that's the stat. So Baylor's only been 13 overall. Scott Drew is a big reason why they are just really have been as good as they've been in the last 10 years. But when we come back, Maceo Teague's mom, Barbara Teague, who has been on this show before, who has joined SicEm365 Radio before, she is going to join us via Zoom from Indianapolis as she's about to watch her son and the Bears square off against Hartford. I'm Drake Toll, Andrew Robertson, Armstrong Sims. This is Up Tempo.
The wait is officially over. It's time for March Madness. Starting in last night's first 4 games, no matchup disappointed. Texas Southern rallied from down 10 at halftime to win 60-52 over Mount St. Mary's. Drake overcame a double-digit deficit to beat Wichita State 53-52. Norfolk State held on to beat App State 54-53. And UCLA made an unbelievable late-game run to knock off Michigan State 86-80. And in the NIT, NC State trounced Davidson 75-61. And Boise State beat SMU 85-84. Looking at today's games, it all got started with Virginia Tech and Florida that tipped off just after 11, followed by Colgate and Arkansas, both games in the South region. Other games to note include Baylor and Hartford at 2:30, Utah State and Texas Tech, Georgia Tech and Loyola Chicago, Wisconsin and North Carolina, and Villanova versus Winthrop. In Baylor Athletics, the volleyball team battled back from down 2-0 to beat Houston 3-2 on the road, and the soccer team fell to LSU 1-0. This weekend includes games for volleyball, baseball against number 10 Texas, softball, golf, track, tennis, and more. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like First Free Checking, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Bird Culture Ford has been in Waco since 1936. Ford, the #1 selling truck in Texas, 43 years running. And Bird Culture Ford proudly supports high school football in Central Texas. And no better way to tailgate with a Ford than from Bird Culture Ford. And are there better vehicles to tailgate with than the Ford F-150 or the Ford Expedition? And of course, you can get them new, pre-owned Bird Culture Ford. Our sponsor of the Ford Tough Player of the Week, locally owned dealership. Online at bkford.com at 1701 West Loop 340 in Waco. Bird Culture Ford.
The holidays are here, and I have a simple question for you. Will you weigh as much more or less than you do right now when the holidays are over? Why not end the year in better shape than when you started and create momentum for 2021? Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness has numerous options for stocking stuffer gifts with gift cards for gym or tennis membership, fitness merchandise, tanning, massage, tennis lessons, and personal training. Perhaps a gift for a client, a family member, or a friend. You just need to walk through the front door to change your life. Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness with personal trainers Christy London and Randall Corley. 40-plus group exercise classes, including twice-a-week boot camp. Spacious, clean workout room, free weights, Cybex cardio equipment, and no intimidation. A tremendous camaraderie and family atmosphere. So get the best and healthiest Christmas gift you can for someone or yourself. It's time to react today, not tomorrow, at Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness on Lake Shore Drive in Waco.
Learning to navigate life in the COVID-19 world has been a struggle, and where and how to get tested has been one of the biggest challenges. Impact Health Labs has your answer. If you need mass testing for your office, church, dormitory, or school, Impact Health Labs is who to call. They will come to you, conduct the testing at your location, and have the test back within 24 hours. Most major insurance accepted, meaning your out-of-pocket cost is low. So no more waiting by the phone for days to find out the results. Impact Health Labs was founded by 3 Army licensed and credentialed medical professionals. They believe in accuracy, efficiency, and doing the job right. Call 254-744-6233 to set up your group screening today. Impact Health Labs, on-site, prompt, and accurate, taking COVID-19 head-on. Again, that number is 254-744-6233 or online at impacthealthlabs.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
No capes. Do you remember Thunderhead? Tall, storm powers. Nice man. Good with kids.
Listen. Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122.
Diner guy, snag on takeoff. Splashdown, sucked into a vortex. No kicks.
Here's Drake Toll and Armstrong Sims.
Welcome back to Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. Drake Toll, Armstrong Sims, Andrew Robertson. It is March Madness today, all day long. 16 matchups in the round of 64. We're going to see a full slate of college basketball today. Baylor plays at 2:30 against the Hartford Hawks. We got that one coming up. How about the slate of games across the day today? With Arkansas right now in Colgate on, Virginia Tech is on top of Florida, 33-32. So that game's getting tight. We had some good games last night as well. How about Arkansas is down by 10, 33-23 right now. Virginia Tech up by 1. Drexel trails Illinois by 5. We got Utah State and Texas Tech tipping off in 15 minutes. Baylor and Hartford, 2:30. Oral Roberts, Ohio State is at 2 o'clock. Georgia Tech, Loyola Chicago, that one's at 3. That's going to be a huge game. I think Loyola Chicago is going to take that one home. Oregon State, Tennessee, lock in Tennessee easy there. Liberty, Oklahoma State, Wisconsin, North Carolina, Cleveland State, Houston, North Texas, Purdue. Watch for an upset in that one at 6:25 this evening. Rutgers and Clemson, which is a toss-up game in my opinion. Syracuse, San Diego State, Morehead State, West Virginia, and then Winthrop and Villanova. I truly believe that the nightcap is going to be the one that does it today. Upset Central, upset City. Give me Winthrop all day. All right, we got highlights from last night's volleyball game. Baylor volleyball out there on the Twittersphere. We're going to grab those and show you those here in a second. Their backdoor sweep against Houston, in which they won 3-2, trailing 2-0 early on in that match, and fought their way back, facing elimination to be able to knock off the Lady Cougars on the road in Houston. How about this as well? I don't, do we have, those are on the Twittersphere, I think. Shouldn't be too far away. Outside of that, though, Colgate now 7-point lead over Arkansas. I've got my top 10. So, went over my top 10 upsets earlier today. I want to go over my top 10 games that will not be upsets, and I hope you pick these in your bracket as the favorites to win. Number 1, without a doubt, no doubt in my mind, Colorado is beating Georgetown. Period. It's happening. Colorado is beating Georgetown. You can mark it, put all the house money on it. Colorado on top of Georgetown today. Number 2, USC taking down Drake pretty easily. USC is going to take down Drake without a doubt.
Absolutely.
And let's see. 3, Texas Tech and Utah State. Those are going down. Do we have those volleyball clips? We do. Let's ride with those. Let's check those out real quick. When we come back, Barbara Teague joins the show.
Tonight at Fertitta Center, the Houston Cougars have won the American West Division. Now they try to boost their NCAA tournament resume, hosting number 6 Baylor. Hustle from the Cougars. Presley off the block.
Let's see.
Off the block, another good swing.
Hey, Miss Barbara, can you hear me okay?
I think Portland Henderson on that setup just wasn't quite set up. She was still kind of moving when she went up on that block. When it comes
I'll say, I almost said that.
She makes great decisions. I think, we'll see a lot more from her over the next few years or so.
14 kills, a game high in 44 attacks. There is Presley, and that's why she was the National Player of the Year 2 years ago.
Right, on the opposite.
Well read by the middle blocker, Karen
Hey, Miss Barber, how are you?
4 in a row.
Got me okay? Can you hear me all right?
4 swings tonight. Frederick serves for Houston.
Sweet, I can.
Presley goes live. Haywood
all right,
on the slide.
Can we have our audio okay? Perfect. All right, hey, Miss Barber, we're going to keep
Baylor,
it
they
as simple
take
and
the
easy as
4.
possible.
Presley
I really
Anderson
just
ends it.
want to know how excited you are about March Madness going on. We're getting to be up there with Maceo.
Response there
and just
from
how
Presley.
proud you are of him. So we've got a commercial break right
Presley.
now.
Martinez, freshman, will serve. Dump, back corner, well read at the net. There's the All-American Hannah Sedgwick. Jackson, too long. Baylor comes back from a 2-0 deficit here in Houston. Cougars a great fight tonight, but they couldn't put away the number 6 Baylor Bears.
Those were highlights from last night's win. The Baylor volleyball team on top of Houston 3-2. And now joining the show with us, Miss Barbara Teague, coming on to talk all things Baylor basketball. She's been on SicEm365 Radio before. She's helped host a show with our own Ashley Hodge for a post-game show. And now Miss Barbara Teague joins us. Thank you so much on a day as crazy as this for coming on.
You're quite welcome. It's totally exciting. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I got to know, first and foremost, Miss Barbara, you're one of the few that gets to go up and see this game today in Indianapolis. Yeah. What is the buzz around the city right now?
Oh, it's like crazy out. Actually, I just came back from, if you will, chauffeuring, taking people to get some things to eat. My mother-in-law is here from Florida, but the buzz is there. Every corner, every walk, on every ounce of the sidewalk, you see different college universities being represented. I heard a whole lot of sirens when I was sitting at a light, and everyone pulled over, and I got so many chills just overtake my body. There were 3 buses, and they were being escorted by the police to get to the venue. So, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling.
Wow, that's unbelievable. And I got to know, from a mother's standpoint today, to see your son start in a game for the number 1 seed Baylor Bears against Hartford, and to watch Maceo play at Lucas Oil Stadium, home of the Indianapolis Colts. What are the emotions going through you right now?
It's a dream come true for him. He's worked so hard, and just to see this part of his life play out, and we have the capabilities, or NCAA is allowing all of us to be able to go watch our sons, our family play, is actually overwhelming. A couple of pictures I put out here recently, they're memories and just things that he's done over the years, whether we're sitting on the sideline to whatever it is up to now. I've been using the word surreal, but it's such an overwhelming feeling for me because I've been there every step of the way with Maceo. His dad and I have been a huge part of his life with assisting him with getting where he is now. So to see this play out, first game, I hope I can keep it together.
Without a doubt. I've got to know, one of the crazy things to me, seeing this team that feels so grassroots, it's so united, like a family, being at Baylor University, and just the culture that Coach Drew and these guys have built here. And now to be playing in an NFL stadium, in a basketball game where the entire country is watching, does the word proud even begin to describe how you feel right now?
Absolutely. That's one word I could use. I sent Maceo a text night before last, and all I said was, we are very proud of you. And he knows I mean that from every part of my being. But I'm proud of the team and what they've accomplished since we've been there. I've seen growth. And so that's when you have to, pass that torch up to say, Coach Drew and the team, the coaches have done a very good job with keeping these young men grounded and bringing them to full, I don't want to say full circle because we haven't gotten to that point yet, but they have a lot to do with it. I'm sure they've had to have talks with players. I mean, that's what coaches do. But the point is, they've been kept grounded to the point where when they step on that court, anything, distractions, what may go on in their lives, it doesn't show that on the court. It could be a situation where, man, I got to get my homework done. And then we have to play basketball. I have an exam tomorrow. I'm not saying that of course, I'm not saying that that your studies is a distraction. My point is there's something in your mind other than basketball all the time, and it's called life. It could be situations that things are going on at home. But I think that Coach Drew and the staff have done a great job of keeping these young men grounded to where they can perform. And I don't think they've actually performed to their best. People say that they're not like they used to be at the beginning of the season. They haven't seen them do any damage yet. They really haven't. People haven't seen that.
Miss Barbara, with Maceo, this whole program, there are doubters out there in the national media that have said, "Oh, this Baylor team may not make it out of the second round. This Baylor team has just missed a step since their COVID pause." But for those,
it's not a lot that they need to do better. They, like any other team, as far as people saying that we won't make it out of this, that, and the other. The one thing I can say to that is stay tuned.
Wow.
Just stay tuned because these young men, I always want to call them kids because they're obviously younger than me, but I call my own kids that. But they're ballers, and they have a mindset of when they step on that court, it flips. And even though everyone can pick out they didn't do this or they didn't do that or they don't look the same since COVID, that lets me know again that they're not at their full potential. So if you're here, that means the only thing you can do is elevate. Trust me, they won't go backwards. They won't.
How about, I've got to know, Miss Barbara, the aura around this team, what you're feeling, just that gut feeling of what this team is capable of. Does it feel like this team is ready to make a run in March?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I always feel like you have to do a self-assessment. I haven't talked to them since COVID, to the players. I talked to Mark Vital at times, and that's one gentleman that I know that he will give his all to make this run. The other players, they didn't come this far to just throw it away. They didn't. And you could feel that. I mean, just being around them. I mean, you have to know this team. You have to know that feeling that you get. When they run out on that court, I may have said this before, but they flip. Their whole aura switches. It changes. Now, you may see them out there dapping and smiling before the game begins, but as soon as that tip off, I don't care if they don't play to the best of their ability that particular game. It's still within them that they win that game, unless something happens where they were just off when they played Oklahoma State. They were just off that game.
Miss Barbara, a couple, just one or two more questions here for you. Sure. I got to know, and it's a little bit tougher, but the fact that these guys know in the back of their mind that any one of these games, especially for the seniors, could be their last one in a Baylor jersey. That said, do you think that's something they're really thinking about, or are they just going out there to play
like that in a college setting? So I'm cherishing every moment. So it definitely hits home with me in that aspect. As far as the team, I can't speak on what they're thinking about, but I do know that Maceo is locked in, and I do know that he's full aware. I'm sure Mark Vital is fully aware that this is, they have to get it done. Impactful to our family because it has reached far beyond Baylor. Our phones are just going off the hook. They're just ringing. It's just touched so many people. And I'm very transparent, even those who didn't follow, we take on that team aspect of things. We take on everybody as a family. So therefore, anybody that's cheering for Maceo, they cheer for Baylor. So it has impacted our family tremendously. Even if I'll have my Baylor gear on in Cincinnati, and I'm stopped, and people will ask me about Baylor. I got them on my bracket and all that good stuff. So it's very impactful. So thank you for asking.
I'm ready.
That is news in college sports. It's been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like First Free Checking, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one, commercial, farm and ranch, or residential. Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Bird Culchin Ford has been in Waco since 1936. Ford, the #1 selling truck in Texas, 43 years running. And Bird Culchin Ford proudly supports high school football in Central Texas. And no better way to tailgate with a Ford than from Bird Culchin Ford. And are there better vehicles to tailgate with than the Ford F-150 or the Ford Expedition? And of course, you can get them new pre-owned Bird Culchin Ford. Our sponsor of the Ford Tough Player of the Week, locally owned dealership. Online at bkford.com at 1701 West Loop 340 in Waco. Bird Culchin Ford.
The holidays are here, and I have a simple question for you. Will you weigh as much more or less than you do right now when the holidays are over? Why not end the year in better shape than when you started and create momentum for 2021? Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness has numerous options for stocking stuffer gifts with gift cards for gym or tennis membership, fitness merchandise, tanning, massage, tennis lessons, and personal training. Perhaps a gift for a client, a family member, or a friend. You just need to walk through the front door to change your life. Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness with personal trainers Christy London and Randall Corley. 40-plus group exercise classes, including twice-a-week boot camp. Spacious, clean workout room, free weights, Cybex cardio equipment, and no intimidation. A tremendous camaraderie and family atmosphere. So get the best and healthiest Christmas gift you can for someone or yourself. It's time to react today, not tomorrow, at Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness.
24 hours. Most major insurance accepted, meaning your out-of-pocket cost is low. So no more waiting by the phone for days to find out the results. Impact Health Labs was founded by 3 Army licensed and credentialed medical professionals. They believe in accuracy, efficiency, and doing the job right. Called
Room is now dumber.
ERA and 3 homestand for Baylor since 2011 when they had 14 in a row. And then with the cancellation of last year's season before the start of the conference play, 31 of the 46 players on the roster have yet to play in a conference game. 2021 roster has 20 true freshmen.
Wow.
And then after hitting .406 last season in 16 games, Jared McKenzie has a .411 batting average through 16 games, 4th in the Big 12 in batting average, 2nd in home runs, 15th nationally, after not hitting any last year, ranked 2nd in the conference in hits, 4th nationally with 30. In addition, he's 1st in the nation in runs and total bases. His 20 RBI are 5th in the conference. His .753 slugging is 3rd in the Big 12. He might might end up being Big 12 Player of the Year. Then Jack Pineda, who's a JUCO transfer, been a huge piece this year, hitting a team best 419, which is third in the league. 26 hits are fourth in the league and 13th nationally. 6 doubles, leads the team and second in the conference. Through the first 16 games, Baylor's first in the Big 12, third in the nation in batting average, hitting .346. 9 of Baylor's top 10 hitters are hitting .300 or better. As a team, Baylor number 1 in the country in total hits. Pineda leads the way with a .419 average. McKenzie, .411. Kyle Nevin, .372. This team can hit so flipping well. Yeah. They have double-digit hits in 13 of 16 games. Tyler Thomas has dominated on the mound in 4 games, taking over as the Friday starter. In his 4 starts, the Keller native has a 2-0 record, 1.96 ERA, struck out 25 batters in 23 innings, holding opponents to a 193 batting average. Tonight, 6:30, Baylor baseball squaring off against Texas at 6:30 on the Brazos. Be there or be square. When we come back, Colt Barber joins the show for the State of the SicEm. I'm Drake Toll, Armstrong Sims, Andrew Robertson. Don't go anywhere after this break. Colt Barber on Uptempo.
The wait is officially over. It's time for March Madness. Starting in last night's first 4 games, no matchup disappointed. Texas Southern rallied from down 10 at halftime to win 60-52 over Mount St. Mary's. Drake overcame a double-digit deficit to beat Wichita State 53-52. Norfolk State held on to beat App State 54-53. And UCLA made an unbelievable late-game run to knock off Michigan State 86-80. And in the NIT, NC State trounced Davidson 75-61. And Boise State beat SMU 85-84. Looking at today's games, it all got started with Virginia Tech and Florida that tipped off just after 11, followed by Colgate and Arkansas, both games in the South region. Other games to note include Baylor and Hartford at 2:30, Utah State and Texas Tech, Georgia Tech and Loyola Chicago, Wisconsin and North Carolina, and Villanova versus Winthrop. In Baylor athletics, the volleyball team battled back from down 2-0 to beat Houston 3-2 on the road. And the soccer team fell to LSU 1-0. This weekend includes games for volleyball, baseball against number 10 Texas, softball, golf, track, tennis, and more. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Uptempo.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Niche Group Insurance Agency. With the Niche Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Niche Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Niche Group at 1-800-258-8302.
Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physician of Baylor Athletics. Our doctors specialize in the diagnosis and treatment of any and all sports-related injuries. Celebrating over a decade of service in Central Texas, our doctors are equipped to handle a wide range of issues, whether it's your foot or ankle, orthopedic spine care, your hand or wrist, knee and shoulder pain, or if you're in need of our arthritis or total joint clinic. Come see us at the new Baylor Scott and White Ted and Sue Getterman Sports and Orthopedic Center. Trusted doctors at Baylor Trust, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Our goal is to get you back in the game.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and 2-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
You want to know why Stonewood Dental is so successful? Listen to what happy customers have to say.
It's pleasant. It's different than any other dentist office. I really feel like they care. And it's not that you're here for 2 hours waiting on someone to take care of you. It's quick and easy, and I bring my kids, and my kids love being here too. They really love the treasure box. Staff is really nice and accommodating, real friendly. You feel more like home. It's not sterile looking. Everybody has their own personalized rooms with decorations and decor, and they'll even have a blanket for you when it's cold. I've recommended people to actually come here, and they are patients now. I really love it here. It feels like family.
Learn more, stonewood-dental.com.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Paulie, give me some of your tots. No, go find your own. Come on, give me some of your tots.
No, I'm freaking starved. I didn't get to eat anything today.
Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122.
Brian, don't be jealous that I've been chatting online with Dave all day.
Your place for a Baylor take on your lunch break. Here's Drake Toll.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. Some chill Friday vibes. A little bit of the islands. Taste the islands as Baylor plays against Hartford at 2:30. Now an hour and a half away from that game, squaring off in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Stadium. Bringing things back with games going on right now. A quadfecta. Colgate's on top of Arkansas by 1, 39-38. Sorry, boys, I'm giving it away to you. Virginia Tech on top of Florida by 3, and Drexel down by 18 at halftime to Illinois, with Utah State on top of Texas Tech by 1. And now we welcome in Colt Barber for the State of the SicEm. Colt, thanks for joining us on a day as immaculate as this.
Man, it's awesome. It's just being able to watch these games and visit with you guys is just kind of like a dream come true.
Wow, what a day it is today. I mean, sports, this is the Super Bowl of having a radio show because there's just so much going on right now. I got to know, Colt, with these early games, what were your picks for these squads within your bracket?
Oh, man, you put me on the spot initially. I had Colgate plus 9. That one looked pretty good for a while and then got dicey, but I think, they're up by 4 right now. I think that's sitting pretty well. I had Tech covering 4, but that Utah State big man is impressive. He's athletic. Tech doesn't have any way to really deal with him, so I'm curious to see how that game goes. That's the only two that I had any thoughts on, to be honest, for the early games. I had both the games last night were bad beats for me, but or two of the games I should say were bad beats. But that's how it goes, man. You win some, you lose some.
I absolutely hammered the Drake game at Drake -2, and they won by 1. And hammered the Appalachian State money line as well, and they lost by 1. So, hey, it's tough, but we recover. We're back today, and there's plenty of games to have out there, right?
Yeah, there's obviously plenty. 16 today, 16 tomorrow. So if you like going 50-50 games, then you have a lot to give you some heartburn.
Bingo. How about it? Colt, with SicEm365, March Madness going on, SicEm365 Bracket Challenge, some prizes out there in the works for folks that signed up for that. What all's going on with the site and different multimedia aspects of SicEm365 right now?
Nothing too much new. Obviously, from just last week, Jason King and Ashley Hodge giving coverage of the basketball tournament from a Baylor perspective. We actually held off on sending it into Indianapolis just because the access to players, the coaches is not there, right? So everything you can get is over Zoom. That's the only access you have. So other than the experience, it's just not there. Now, when it comes to the Sweet 16 and Final Four, we'll decide if and when those times come to go to Indianapolis and get the guys there for coverage. But this year being such an odd year, but it's so much better than last year with having nothing to cover, especially when you're looking for a 1 seed and then it's not there. But here they are this year, and I'm anxious to get this going. I'm curious to see how Baylor plays today. Not that we're going to learn a lot unless they just absolutely come out completely flat. We saw Illinois come out a little bit flat, but now they separated from Drexel. But I'm anxious to see how this team plays. They've said everything that needs to be said. Now I'm curious to see how they play.
How about it? March Madness being obviously one of my favorite times of the year, as we've talked about all week this week, and I don't know how it couldn't be if you're a sports fan, but when you look at this Baylor squad facing up against Hartford today, you got I think it's Baylor minus 25.5 is where it looks like it's going to close, somewhere in or around there. What do you like on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a tough call because you want Baylor to get out to that lead. Then you're not really concerned. This isn't your wanting to cover those spreads. You're not wanting to look good, gain momentum, or get guys shots or reps or anything. So if they get up 25 in the second half, who's playing the last 10 minutes of the game? And you hope that they get to that point. But then how does the game progress if it gets to that? So I just stay away from these types of games like Illinois, and obviously Drexel is just one you look at. There's no upside to picking that game because you really don't know how it's going to go. Illinois is clearly the better team, but coming the second half, are they going to win by 40, or is it going to be a closer game than expected because of the fact that that team's playing with a lot of pride that they're playing against in Drexel or in Hartford and Baylor situations? So it's hard to pick those games, and but I mean, there's a reason that Vegas they want to get both sides of the fence, right? So they want to get everyone that line set to where they're getting both sides, and then they get the juice from their the dollar that they win off all the people that didn't win is what they want, and that's how they make their money.
Got also outside of basketball, we're going to take it out of basketball for a second here, looking at Baylor baseball against number 10 Texas tonight, and then across the weekend with a 3-game series, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What do you expect to see in that one? Baseball season's coming in full swing too.
Yeah, I mean, what's going to come down with this Baylor baseball team? Now, I'm a baseball guy, and I love baseball. I don't talk about it very much, but it is it's more emotional for me because I know a lot about the sport, and I just don't like talking about it nearly as much, which it sounds silly, but this team is going to struggle to pitch well unless they get a guy like Tyler Thomas to go out there and be their ace. Right now, you have Rigney that hasn't been healthy. He's pitched a little bit, but they need their starters to be healthy. And unfortunately, Coach Rodriguez hasn't had that since he's been in Waco. There's guys that have stayed hurt. Cody Bradford stayed hurt. Obviously, that last year, I shouldn't say stayed hurt. He got when they expected to be really good. Talking about super regionals, potentially College World Series appearance, they get hurt and their guys get hurt, and that's tough to overcome for a team that hits so well. You just get middle of the road pitching, and you have a really good squad. So I'm anxious to see how they play this weekend against Texas because we know they can swing the bat, and I expect them to put up some runs. Texas is kind of the standard in the league, along with Texas Tech and TCU. So if Baylor can play well this weekend, potentially take 2 or 3, then I really like the position for the postseason.
Be big without a doubt, especially winning a series against a top 10 team. Texas, one of the best out there. Their pitching staff is really, really solid too, and they've won 6 straight. Baylor's won 10 straight. It'll be a good one on the Brazos. Looking at, softball's got their win streak going, men's and women's tennis. Women's golf is a top 5 team in the country. Track and field just finished up. I mean, there are big things going on across the realm of Baylor athletics. Does that make it that much better, or I guess that much cooler to be a SicEm365 subscriber, SicEm365 contributor, or just someone associated with the SicEm365 brand right now?
Yeah, it's always cool to be involved with SicEm365. I mean, that's just how it goes. But no, it's a good time. I will say, you talk to some of those minor market sports. You talk about tennis, softball, baseball to an extent. When those seasons start ramping up, getting closer to postseason play, those are huge for us because people tune in. You start getting more games televised with baseball, softball, obviously. But when you get closer to postseason play, people start paying more attention, and that's usually at the end of basketball season when those start progressing and you really know what type of teams you have. So yeah, when those teams are doing well, we could put up a ladies golf when they're competing for the national title, and people will be discussing those throughout a tournament. And so it's good. It's good for business, right? You get a lot of clicks off of it, and but at the end of the day, the success of Baylor athletics is what we need as a business. And if you don't have that, these types of businesses don't succeed. And talking about 10 years ago, 11 years ago, that was not the case, right? You really just kind of coming into what Scott Drew did, obviously Art Briles and what he was able to do and turn the football program around. That's the reason that we're in business.
How about outside of everything, within sports, on the SicEm365 side of things, subscribers, I know you mentioned a little bit of your message to help build the brand and gain more and more people that are a part of what SicEm365 does. Kind of where is the state of the SicEm right now?
Yeah, I mean, just holding steady. And this time of year, what we look for is kind of weathering the off-season storm, and not the basketball season, the off-season. But for so much of what we do, football is king. Like, we can put up a spring ball, video, or we can start talking about spring football, and it's going to get tons of hits, tons of clicks. We send out a newsletter promoting that, and it's going to get signups. And that's just part of where we live in the region of the country that we're in. But after signing day, once you get through March Madness, get into the summer months, it's about being stable, and then you see your growth in the fall. So being able to provide quality content during the summer months is what we're looking for, to keep people engaged, but also provide insight to the program that they might not get. And even during the off season, that's something that we can do, and we have the contacts and the ability to do it.
Colt, we're talking all things bracket, obviously, today, outside of a couple different things. So I want to know the matchups today, whether it be Baylor and Hartford and those that follow after, and Florida's now up by 4 as they've come back against Virginia Tech, and Arkansas still down by 3 to Colgate. But what are some of these matchups that you're looking at across the day today, or even tomorrow, that you're really intrigued by?
I think the Oklahoma-Missouri one, even without I think it's Harmon that's out for Oklahoma.
Harmon, yep.
Yeah, so even without them, I'm really curious, because this Texas Tech game is interesting, but it's Utah State, and I'm not saying Utah State's not good, but you get another a big battle between Oklahoma and an SEC program. It kind of gives you an indication, where does this league stand? Where does the Big 12 stand? Was it all fabricated? Was it all built up to be not as much or more than we expected? And that's for same reasons. I was looking at that Florida Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech was a team that had some decent wins, that had dealt with COVID issues, but how does that game turn out? Just to kind of give us an idea of where these leagues actually stand. And outside of just the drama for March Madness, that's a huge factor. And you start talking about the SEC and the SEC pride, but in these basketball conferences, you talk about the Big 10 and the Big 12. There's a lot of pride with those two conferences, and so I'm curious to see that Oklahoma game, specifically how it relates to Baylor. To the Big 12. The Oklahoma State game is interesting. I think Oklahoma State got slided where they were seated in a way, but I understand why they were. The resume, top to bottom, that's probably where it fell. But they were so hot at the end of the season, even with the loss to Texas, that you didn't. They were better than what their seed is, and I think that becomes scary to who they're playing, but I think they're in a tough game with Liberty as well. So I'm anxious to see how that game goes, but again, that's not a Power 5 type matchup. And I know that basketball is completely different than football, but you start talking about high major talent and athletic ability, and those are the matches. Like, we're watching the Colgate and Arkansas game right now, and obviously Colgate's not anywhere near as athletic, but they have the ability to play basketball. But when you start talking about Oklahoma, those 8-9 lines, and that's a good indication of where these conferences are.
Colt, when it comes to Sweet 16, Elite 8 later on in the tournament, who are some of these teams that you really like to make a run?
Man, I had my bracket up, and I'm awful at picking brackets. I'll just go through. I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing it. Let me pull mine up. Actually, I actually tweeted it out earlier, so it'll be easy to find. I had the one pick that I had. I actually wanted or thought that Michigan State was going to make a run. I really like the way that they matched up with BYU and then also with Texas, just the type of play they had. UCLA wins that game, so I don't have Michigan State, but I have Texas beating UCLA to get to the Sweet 16. Florida State, I like them coming out of that bracket to face actually LSU. I don't know where Michigan is right now. I know they don't have one of their better players, but LSU is a dangerous team because they can score a lot of points. And I expect that Michigan LSU game to get into high scoring matchup, and you have to pick those types of games, right, to win your bracket. So I think LSU has a chance to win there. The other upset I have is Oregon beating Iowa. I've watched Oregon a lot this year, and they're really sneaky good. Like, they can score the basketball. They have a lot of length as usual, and I think they can get into a game with Iowa that's I was not overly athletic. Obviously, they have a really good big man in Luka Garza, but I think Oregon can be athletic enough to cause them a lot of problems, and that's another one of my upsets that I have in that bracket. And outside of that, I have West Virginia making the Final Four. That was kind of a pick over Illinois. That goes pretty deep. Obviously, they would have to beat Houston to get out of there, or in the Sweet 16 to get to the Elite Eight and then play Illinois. Then I have Baylor winning the national championship, and that's just because there's not often that you can really legitimately pick Baylor, or there has not been up until this point. So I picked them because it's an opportunity to pick them, and you might as well pick them.
Absolutely. Cole, thanks so much for coming on the show today. Before we get you out of here, though, I do have our Bear Games questions today.
Let's go.
If you could play for one of these mid-major schools, a 12 seed or lower, which one would it be?
So I'm going with, so I don't know if y'all played NCAA basketball, like EA Sports, NCAA basketball.
Yeah, without a doubt. Back
when it was a thing, and they actually cut it off soon, but I would always play with Winthrop and make them a dynasty. And so I'd have to go in that direction just because of the fact that they were always like, if you played the game and you would simulate games, they were always winning their conference. So I just thought, hey, let's play with them. And so I've always known that name dating back to when I was in middle school playing that video game. And a lot of people might not know who they were before this year, but I knew who they were, so just off the cuff, that's who I'm picking to go play some mid-major basketball.
Winthrop, I love it. March Movie Madness, too, Disney Movie Madness today. I don't know how familiar you are with these matchups, but maybe, just maybe, you've got to take on a couple of these. So I personally am a pretty big Inside Out guy, but we got Inside Out and Monsters University. Are you familiar with those?
Inside Out, no. Now, I have a 3-year-old and going on 4 and a 1-year-old going on 2, so I'm sure I will be at some point. I know Monsters, though, so I'm going with Monsters. I don't think you can, it's a good, clean movie for kids. Like, it's entertaining. A lot of good inside adult jokes, I guess, that kids won't ever catch on to. But, I don't think you can go wrong with that one. It's Sully and those guys.
And then how about Bug's Life or The Incredibles?
Oh, man. Bug's Life is a classic. That goes way back. I think just from the nostalgia, for me, I had to go with Bug's Life.
Bug's Life, locking it in. How about it? That's the first Bug's Life vote we've had today, and we're big Incredibles guys on here. Colt Barber, State of the SicEm, thanks so much for joining the show, as always.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one.
See you next Friday when Baylor's in the Sweet 16. That was Colt Barber talking all things State of the SicEm in and around college athletics, Baylor-centric, Baylor focus. I'm Drake Toll, Armstrong Sims, Andrew Robertson. We'll be right back. This is Up Tempo.
The wait is officially over. It's time for March Madness. Starting in last night's first 4 games, no matchup disappointed. Texas Southern rallied from down 10 at halftime to win 60-52 over Mount St. Mary's. Drake overcame a double-digit deficit to beat Wichita State 53-52. Norfolk State held on to beat App State 54-53. And UCLA made an unbelievable late-game run to knock off Michigan State 86-80. And in the NIT, NC State trounced Davidson 75-61. And Boise State beat SMU 85-84. Looking at today's games, it all got started with Virginia Tech and Florida that tipped off just after 11, followed by Colgate and Arkansas, both games in the South region. Other games to note include Baylor and Hartford at 2:30. Utah State and Texas Tech, Georgia Tech and Loyola Chicago, Wisconsin and North Carolina, and Villanova versus Winthrop. In Baylor athletics, the volleyball team battled back from down 2-0 to beat Houston 3-2 on the road, and the soccer team fell to LSU 1-0. This weekend includes games for volleyball, baseball against number 10 Texas, softball, golf, track, tennis, and more. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Niche Group Insurance Agency. With the Niche Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Niche Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Niche Group at 1-800-258-8302.
It takes time to reach goals. It's a truth that applies to more than sports. It goes for your financial goals as well. You work hard for your money, and you deserve an investment strategy that lines up with your game plan. And Tom Albers, your Edward Jones financial advisor, can help. If your financial investments aren't putting forth the effort you desire, stop by today for a financial review. Tom Albers, 4301 Lakeshore Drive, 254-776-7605. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. See all the things they can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
Born in Waco, Brotherwell Brewing exists to serve the Central Texas community with locally crafted beer of the highest quality. They want to bring Central Texas closer to the brewing experience so everyone can enjoy well-made beer as much as they do. For 2.5 years, they've been bringing high-quality beer to Central Texas at their location on Bridge Street in East Waco. And this football season, you need to stop by on game day for curbside pickup or stop by their tent next to SicEm365 at Brazos Parking for your pregame refreshment. Brotherwell Brewing believes in community and bringing people together to enjoy products made in their community. So for your game day, whether it's a tailgate or at home, stop by Brotherwell Brewing for high-quality craft beer made right here in Central Texas, 400 East Bridge Street, and check them out online at brotherwell.com.
Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get engaged or already married and want to upgrade your wife's ring for a special anniversary, Boozers is the place to go. With the largest selection of premier quality diamond engagement rings and wedding rings in Central Texas. They have 7 cases with over 300 styles of rings from top designers like Natalie Kay. Choose from yellow, white, or rose gold, plus beautiful top quality loose diamonds. With an in-house jeweler, they can also custom make anything you want. Bring in a picture or drawing and let Boozers create your one-of-a-kind pendant or ring. They can even use some of your old gold and diamond jewelry to create something new. At Boozers, you'll find a great selection of quality timepieces, and Boozers is the place for expert watch maintenance and repairs too. They specialize in expert Rolex watch repair for fine jewelry, watches, custom work, and more. Go to Boozers on Valley Mills and Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Boozers, the wedding ring store and more.
Car has the trucks, man. They have the one for you. Crew cab, short or long bed, silver, black or blue. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, he has the truck for you. Carr has the trucks, man. He has the truck you need. If you want the best truck, you want a GMC. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, they have the truck for you.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run. And so that'll make it a 4-0 ball game.
Now back to the Bears Den with Drake Toll for a Baylor take on your lunch break.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, March is mad, but TCU football just posted a picture of a video of Matt Rule in a purple jacket at TCU as the Carolina Panthers head coach, hanging out with Gary Patterson at a practice doing some scouting. No way. And it says, "Welcome back to Texas, Coach Rule." Oh, I just sent it. It's TCU's pro day.
How could he do that to us?
That hurts.
In a purple jacket?
Do you see it?
Yeah.
That hurts. Here, you see that March Madness TV video? Can we roll that real quick with the Hartford story?
He really left Baylor and then went and wore TCU colors.
Yep. That's really tough.
I'm stunned by this. I thought he'd at least be like a little bit loyal to Baylor.
We got 40-something seconds left.
That's tough. Yeah. Baylor and Hartford today. Baylor 22-2, 13-1 in conference play. That only lost to Kansas in the regular season, and then their only loss outside of conference play, that was in the postseason Big 12 tournament to Oklahoma State against the Hartford Hawks, 15-8 overall. They won their conference tournament, the America East Conference. Baylor's appearing in the NCAA tournament for the 6th time in the last 7 seasons. Baylor is 14-14 in 13 all-time NCAA championships, including an 11-8 record in the Scott Drew era. Hold on. How can Baylor be 14-14 in 13 NCAA championship appearances?
Because if we won a game.
No.
No?
You can't lose twice.
Right. Oh, you're right. Wait.
You can't be 14-14 because you can't.
You can only have 13 total losses.
You can't lose twice.
Huh.
That doesn't check out. They're 11-8 in the Scott Drew era. Baylor's appearing in the NCAA postseason for a school record 9th consecutive season. 9 consecutive postseason runs, and Baylor's streak of 9 consecutive postseasons tied as the nation's 7th longest streak. All right, got a video right here of all Hartford Hawks coming into Indianapolis. Check this out from Hartford.
We have a hashtag called The Neighborhood.
The way you described it was that, growing up, like whenever you had an issue with something, you'd ask someone in the neighborhood and they can help you out.
Hartford has a sense of community because we understand the struggle, because you always need support in all areas of your life.
The neighborhood means to us as a team just a family, a brotherhood, someone you can call on.
Your neighbors are really most important in your family, and being tight-knit, being able to communicate with them right now in this tough time and carrying us through the rest of this pandemic.
I think the relationship that we all have, we're all brothers, and it's a really good bond. It's hard to kind of explain.
So I think that's what will separate us from other teams.
Well, a lot of them come in here and they're a bunch of good kids. You want to know your neighbors. You want to have some kind of relationship with them.
Being able to get behind a local basketball team like the Hartford Hawks just brings us closer together.
Everybody in Hartford and around the world that supports our program, this accomplishment is all of us, and I want to thank them, and we're grateful for everyone in the neighborhood for helping us get here.
Go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
That was very sweet and all, but they're going to lose by like 27 today. So, super inspirational, but so sorry. So very sorry. Check this out, though. We got to round out our pregame coverage of Baylor and Hartford today. We've got the number one moment of things that happened on Uptempo this week, and it includes a friend of mine named Adam Singer. Adam Singer is a native of Illinois who is a former Hartford assistant basketball coach, spent time with the program, and broke down everything there is to know about Hartford coming into the matchup with these two teams. It's going to happen here in about an hour. This pregame coverage of Baylor and Hartford.
Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run. And so that'll make it a 4-0 ball game.
Now back to the Bears Den with Drake Toll for a Baylor take on your lunch break.
Welcome back into the Petty. What are we going with the little sunglasses action?
There's a little Randy Moss draft.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. You didn't tell me you were going to do that. Drake Toll alongside J.D. Pickell today on Uptempo. Starting up the 1 o'clock hour, just had Paul Biancardi on. Big show today. Casey Lightfoot joined earlier. It was awesome. And now joining us, former Hartford assistant basketball coach Adam Singer is on the show to break down all things Hawks. Adam, thanks for coming on the show with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. Much appreciated.
Absolutely. Well, tell us, Adam, there are not a ton of Hartford experts that exist in the world still to this day. They're a very unique species, but you exist as one. If there's anybody that knows anything about Hartford basketball, it's yourself. So tell us, preliminary, what is this Hartford team all about?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Yeah, there's not many of us Hartford Hawks fans out there. I actually had experience working for Coach Gallagher, so I kind of have a unique perspective. But, Hartford's, coming into the tournament, first time making it in their 37-year Division I history. Coach Gallagher obviously has been at the helm for 11 years. 15-8 season, 14-1 actually, 10-1 at home. 14-6 against Division I like opponents. Obviously, they opened up against UConn, lost one by 12, played Villanova about 2 days later, lost in the 30 range. Yeah. But no cupcakes on the non-conference schedule, really. Played a bunch of good teams, and obviously won the conference tournament over UMass Lowell this past Saturday.
Well, Adam, I'm joined here by my co-host J.D. Pickell, and he's got really we want to know all about this Hartford team and program. J.D.,
I'm made of questions. I could talk to you for hours, Adam. But the first thing I want to know is, what does this Hartford team do well? Because I think I speak for the majority of Baylor basketball fans. This will be the first time for us seeing this Hartford program.
Of course, yeah. So in terms of their roster, they mostly go about 6 or 7 deep. Really versatile offense. Coach Gallagher in the beginning of his career actually was more of a three-point shooting team, but I think as he's recruited guys that are more versatile, they like to get to the rim, mid-range game, versatility. And then defensively, they're actually one of the best teams in their conference defensively, as well as guarding the three, which I know Baylor is number one in the country at about 42%. So, it's kind of a mix of styles, but that's, styles make fights, as they say.
Wow. How about Austin Williams, one of the star guards for this team, obviously is the name to look a name to look at for Hartford. What are a couple of the other guys, his supporting cast, that are going to be forces to reckon with for Baylor?
Of course. So I don't know how much, your fans or your listeners know about this, but Hartford actually lost their leading scorer the second conference series of the season against Moses Flowers was his name. He was a returning sophomore. He was a really good scorer, could create shots. But Austin Williams really has taken the lead, as the season has progressed, averaging, finished the season at about 14, 6, and 3, really good conference tournament. And then obviously the clog that stirs their drink is Tracy Carter. He's their point guard. He's been at 5 different schools, averages 2.6 steals a game, really, really good from mid-range, and he's a really good leader. Now, Coach Gallagher in his career has recruited a lot of really good guards. Started off with Andres Torres when he first came in, went to J.R. Lynch, who was there actually when I was there. And then they transitioned over to Tracy Carter for the last 2 years. And, Tracy's a guy that has a lot of experience defensively. He's elite. Gino Ford, actually, the coach of Stony Brook, was on, I think, with Andy Katz a few days ago and said, Tracy Carter is the best defensive point guard he has coached against. And I agree. Coach Gallagher would agree with me. And I agree. The guy's got great hands, great anticipation. He's a veteran out there, so he kind of knows what he's doing. And then Hartford's got a bunch of different pieces. They got Hunter Marks, who's their starting 4. He's from Phillips Island, Australia. Really good shooter, plays good in big games. He's got 2 big men that they kind of rotate in. Miroslav Stoffel, big man, came over from, I believe, Serbia. And then they got Thomas Webley, a freshman from New Zealand. Both big bodies, get on the glass. And then in their backcourt, they got PJ Henry, probably going to be the quickest guy on the court when they play on Friday. Small guard from Shadow Creek, Texas, I believe, sophomore. And then DJ Mitchell, actually, who stepped in for Moses Flowers, terrific shooter, actually started as a walk-on, got a scholarship. Just a do-everything guy, real good energy, and kind of has fit the mold really well in replacing Moses Flowers. So the team's versatile. They're known for their defense. And Coach Gallagher, as I'm sure you've read a lot about, really good energy, passionate, all about mindset. So that's kind of the Hartford, outline.
Wow.
Adam, I don't think Drake could have gotten a better source on Hartford basketball if we had tried. So your name is probably going to be on a lot of short lists for interviews by ESPN if Hartford can win this next game. Now, on that topic, ask Virginia. It's not impossible for a 16 to beat a 1. What does Hartford need to do? In what scenario does Hartford beat Baylor in this first round?
Yeah, so I think the 2 strategies, I think defensively, it's obviously not allowing Baylor to get a lot of threes. Not as much attempts, but makes. Obviously, you kind of want to run them off the line. They're 41.8% on the year, number 1 in the country. Obviously, a great backcourt with Teague and Mitchell and Jared Butler, who I honestly thought was the best guy in the Big 12. But, that's not either near or there. You could have 2 good players in a conference, of course. But I think it's keeping them off the three-point line, really rebounding. I know Baylor doesn't have the size, but they have the athleticism. Obviously, going back to the comment that Taurean Prince made when they lost to Yale, you got to rebound the ball. You got to get to the glass. You got to use 2 hands. And then on the offensive end, I think for Hartford, it's going to be slowing the pace, making sure you get really good ball reversals, forcing, that Power 5 team to really guard for the whole shot clock. And Coach Gallagher, as I said to Drake before we came on, the air, Hartford's played some really good teams over the last 5-6 years. They played Northwestern, beat them. They played Boston College, beat them twice. They played Villanova, lost to them, but it was a good game. They played UConn to open the season, lost by 12. Obviously UConn was, now they're one of the best teams in the country, arguably top 20. So Hartford's played some big teams before. They're not going to be afraid of Baylor. I can tell you that. But Baylor's going to have the talent advantage. And then obviously Coach Drew, over the last 2 years has won, 48 games. He's been to 9 tournaments in 14 seasons. So in his last 14 seasons. So, it's going to be a tough matchup, but, Hartford's going to come, with their A game, and they're going to have a good mindset, and they're excited obviously to be there for their first tournament appearance.
Adam, you mentioned that. I mean, this is the first time that Coach Gallagher and this team have made the NCAA tournament, first time in program history. And the road to get there, this team, again in early February, was 10-8, and everybody, I guess, really in the American East was counting them out. Nobody thought this team was going to represent the conference in the NCAA tournament. What did it take to get this team here?
Yeah, so going back, Hartford actually went to Division I 37 years ago with head coach Jack Phelan, who actually passed away this year. So it's kind of, a weird kind of coincidence there, unfortunately. But Coach Gallagher came in. He obviously built a foundation of what the other coaches built to him. But yeah, I mean, if you look at the way the season turned out, obviously they were 10-8. They had you have back-to-backs now with the COVID. You have back-to-backs. So if you win the first game, you're going into the second game with confidence. You kind of know what you did right, what you got to improve on. But if you lost the first game, like they lost to UMass Lowell, their first game of the conference matchup at UMass Lowell, bad performance. I forgot what the final score was, but from what I know, Coach Gallagher went in there, told the guys, listen, this is what we got to do better. We got to come in with a better mindset. We're able to beat this team, and we got to come out and, it's a rock fight. Whoever can throw the most rocks, take the most punches, is going to win the game. And they played the second game, won by 12. And then in the conference tournament, Hartford has always been the underdog, whether it's based on the conference or, never making the NCAA tournament or whatnot. But in that locker room, you don't ever feel like you're an underdog, whether it's you've prepared well, the scouting report is great from the assistant coaches. Coach Gallagher gets you, really revved up and passionate, and, he's got your back. That's one thing. The neighborhood is kind of the slogan for the program. Coach Gallagher uses that as, a really good saying, because what he uses is when you have a problem and you're at a major conference, you might go Google, you might call someone down in another state, but in the neighborhood, you go to the guy next to you. You have a problem, you run out of, baking soda, you go to your neighbor. And the neighborhood is really this tight-knit group of, non-UConn Connecticut basketball fans. So, when you get into the tournament, Hartford went in the first game. They played against Binghamton, who was actually playing really well at the end of the season. Obviously Hartford was at home. They were the 4th seed. Didn't get to play that last weekend of the regular season due to the conference actually being pushed back. And they played well, won the game. Second game they went in, they played against Albany. Now, the tricky thing was they were supposed to play Albany in the regular season at home. As I said before, they were 10-1 at home. That could have been 2, wins at home and could have put kind of people at ease. But you hadn't played Albany. Obviously, Will Brown had been there for 20 years. I think took them to 5 NCAA tournaments. So they had pedigree on their side. But Hartford had the home court. They had, confidence. And I believe that this was a team of destiny, as we found out. And then they went on the road to Vermont, who, Vermont was a 2 seed, but I truly believe that Hartford, now we kind of see it and there's proof in the pudding, they were the best team in the conference. If you look at UMBC, we split against them, won the first game at UMBC. The second game, we shot, I think, about 32%, lost the second game. But if you shoot any better than 32%, you're probably going to win that game. So that could have been a sweep of UMBC, but they obviously deserved the 1 seed. Then you play Vermont, who's a 2 seed, and you play them in the Final Four. Vermont had never played us. We went into that game 9-point underdogs, but how is there proof that they're a 9 points better than us when we hadn't played them, and we had been waiting for that game since last year when our game got canceled? So there was a little bit of motivation on the side, a little bit of an underdog mentality. Obviously we went into Vermont 9-point underdogs, won by 8. They're a great team. They're run really, really well by John Becker. Obviously they're the standard bearer of the conference. And then you play UMass Lowell at home, and UMass Lowell was a 6 seed. They came back from 2 16-point deficits. Had had Obadiah Noel, who I believe was the best player in the conference. He actually sat out some games towards the end of the year, so that might have hurt his candidacy. But went into that game. You're the 4 seed. Easily could have been 1 or 2 at home. 40 minutes from an NCAA tournament berth. The first half was very ugly. I had people texting me saying, you guys have no shot. And I'm like, I know these guys better than you know them. The shots are not falling, but, we're number 2 team in the conference in defense. Offensively, we're going to figure it out. And don't worry, if the game's close at halftime, Gallagher's going into the locker room and he's firing the troops up. We're coming out, we're kicking the doors down. Kind of that famous Jimmy Valvano speech, Green Bay Packers, my faith, and Rutgers basketball, something like that. He did at the ESPY. So anyways, played UMBC, beat them. Obviously everybody was real ecstatic getting to the tournament, and we're not going to take the opportunity for granted. We're going to come ready to play. Obviously Baylor, 22-2, 48 wins over the last 2 seasons. Scott Drew, 63% win percentage in his Baylor career. We know what they are capable of. But we know what we're good at. We're going to play to our strengths. And hopefully it's going to be, a competitive game that fans are going to want to watch.
Adam, you're making me want to root for Hartford. Hearing your passion for this program, I'm fired up, man.
Fans in the Hartford, rooting fans, whether it's Friday or next year.
I'm fired up,
I was going to say the same thing. At this point, I just want Hartford to go to the Final Four so we can keep rooting for them and have an animal.
I'm ready.
Maybe we'll be like Loyola Chicago, a little underdog story.
I'm ready, man. Now you mentioned that spread of 9 points. This spread a little different. 26.5, 27, depending on who you ask. Do you see Hartford making it a game? Do you see it covering that 27 and going the distance, or how do you see this game playing out in that fashion?
Yeah, I don't know, because, they played against Villanova, the second game of the year, lost by 34. Obviously, Villanova and Baylor are somewhat in the same class in terms of, can be a top 5 team on any given night, but, could struggle at times. I know Baylor, after the COVID break, had a little bit of struggles, but anytime you go to Kansas, it's never going to be an easy game. And every time you play against Cade Cunningham, who probably is going to be one of the top 2 picks in the draft, there's no assurances, so the 2 losses weren't really bad. But, I'd like to think, as a big Hartford fan, as someone that worked for Coach Gallagher, that 27.5 is just too much. But games can get out of hand. If Baylor comes ready to roll, Scott Drew gets the team fired up. As I said, they got 3 really good guards in Teague and Mitchell and Jared Butler. Jared Butler finished the season, I have it here, averaging 17, 3 and 5. Very well-rounded player. Got the size, got the athleticism. So I like to think Hartford's going to keep it close. I believe that they're going to have a really good offense. They're going to move the ball around. If they make shots, obviously we know playing in the Lucas Oil Stadium, it's a very different atmosphere. You got the weird trajectories. You got the court maybe elevated from, where the benches are. I don't really know how the setup is, but I like to think it's going to be closer than 26, just because of all the things I've said. Hartford's confident in what they can do. Defensively, that's kind of been their calling card. They played against, top 5 Power 5 conference teams before. So this is not going to be a shock to them. This is not, coming into a game and saying, wow, I cannot believe I'm playing against Jared Butler. It's not going to be like that. They're going to come ready to roll. Gallagher is, excited to be there. This is a record-breaking season, something that has never happened, but that doesn't mean we're not going to, let the opportunity slip away.
How about Coach Gallagher? We had the guy on our afternoon show earlier this week, and the passion of just for the sport of basketball for Hartford. He's spent now combined almost 13 years at Hartford in total between associate head coach and then head coach here at the program with the Hawks. And not all of those years have been easy for Coach Gallagher. What does this mean, though, for him, a coach like that, to finally break through and take this program to the NCAA tournament for the first time ever?
Absolutely. I think for Coach Gallagher, it just kind of cements his, his status as, in my opinion, the best coach that Hartford's ever had. Obviously, when you go and transition to Division I, like I said 37 years ago, it's always going to be an uphill battle. And a funny story, when I started working for Coach Gallagher in 2011, I had transferred actually from Indiana University Bloomington. They had Coach Green. I had not worked with the team, but I had transferred to go work for Coach Gallagher. We actually started 0-13 while Indiana started 15-1. Wow. Now, 10 years later, the tournament is being hosted at Indiana. They're not in and we're in. So it's a kind of little bit of like a coincidence, poetic justice kind of situation. But no, Coach Gallagher, 157 Division I wins at Hartford, most in school history in the Division I era, of course. 70 wins over the last 4 years, which, to some people that are listening, they're going to be like, well, Scott Drew's got 48 in the last 2. But at a conference like Hartford's in the America East, at a school like Hartford where there's been, changeover in the administration, and Coach Gallagher's really been the consistent, and he's had to turn over things. When he first got there, he recruited, a whole new freshman class. Those guys won, 34 games over 2 years. That was a school record. Then he recruited a whole new class that took us to a whole new level. Beat Boston College twice, very close to making the NCAA tournament a few times, being in the Final Four with guys like J.R. Lynch and John Carroll and Jason Dunn, George Blagojevich, who's playing in Australia now. He's had to recruit new guys every few years. But this new class, with the Austin Williams, who was a transfer from Marist, the Tracy Carter, who was a transfer from LaSalle, Malik Ellison, who was on the roster last year, his father obviously played at Louisville, won a national title, went to the NBA. this new class of guys, I think it's all a culmination of him just continuously growing the talent pool, but also just not wavering off of what he knows is going to work. So Coach Gallagher, in my opinion, I'm obviously still very close with him. For me, he's the best coach in the country because I have never worked for anybody else, and he's obviously won at a very high level within, the confines of winning in the conference and winning, in the state against the Fairfields and the Sacred Hearts and the Central Connecticut States. So for me, I think this kind of just moves Coach Gallagher even up another notch to potentially, who knows? You win against Baylor, things could happen, but no matter what happens on Friday, winning 157 games over your 11 seasons and getting to the NCAA tournament after all these different recruiting classes, 11 years on the job, almost losing your job at one point and just continuously building it. I think it's just a testament to his, never-ending passion and grit and hard work that he's put in to get to this position. And I think if you talk to a lot of different coaches in Division I, whether it's the Steve Donahues or the Mike Martins or the Porter Mosers or even the Mark Fuse at Gonzaga, he's very close with those guys. I think they would tell you that they feel as good that he's made it as if they were to make it because of the type of person and the humble attitude that he has.
Wow.
Adam, we love March Madness because of the upsets, obviously, the madness. That's what it is. And a lot of times you see those lower seeds capitalize on a matchup or two they have against the big dog, quote unquote. What is that matchup for Hartford where you say, hey, this might really be a chink in the Baylor armor? Is there one of those that you could see, maybe even one or two?
Honestly, I haven't done too much individual research or, scouting on Baylor, of course, because I'm just a normal guy living in Chicago, but, a huge Hartford fan. Honestly, I kind of alluded to it before. If Baylor's not making their shots and Hartford's cleaning the glass real well and allowing, very, very minimal second chance opportunities, that's going to be the key. Because anytime you go up against, a Goliath, like a Baylor or a Gonzaga or a Villanova, you can't let them get second chance opportunities, because those are backbreakers. You force a bad shot, they get the rebound, they kick it out for the easy three, they make it. Now that's technically a 5-point swing because you would have had the ball, but now they get a three. That's a 5-point swing in a game where the spread is 26 and you got to be almost perfect. Those 5-point swings change games. So, I don't know if there's necessarily one thing you can point out about Baylor, that's going to be an easy thing to exploit, because when you're 22-2, not many teams have figured it out. Just like people were asking me, how do you stop, Gonzaga? Well, no one's beaten them. So no one's figured it out, and everybody scouted them in their conference for the last 5 years. So, I don't know if there's one specific thing. I think, as I alluded to, it's going to be, keeping them, from making a lot of threes, rebounding so you don't allow second chance opportunities. And on the offensive end, Coach Gallagher is a big proponent of ball movement. Move the defense, move the rim protectors, and attack closeouts, find open looks, and then play call. Coach Gallagher's got a plethora of play calls, and we'll see what, he draws up, and whether they win or lose, I'm still going to be the number one Hartford fan there is in the country, not only because of my experience working with the team, but also just, I've been able to go back and watch games, not this year, of course, but been able to go back and watch games, built a relationship with some of the new people that have joined the staff, and they've done a good job of including me as someone that still has passion in, learning about new things and, introducing me to new concepts.
I love it. I mean, Adam, this is unbelievable. The analysis you've been able to bring us about Hartford, and obviously you are as a former coach on the staff and now someone that follows them very closely. It's evident that you're passionate about Hartford. And I'll tell you what, when they said it's Baylor Hartford round one, we had no idea what to expect. But now I'm going Hartford plus the points. We're going Hartford plus 27 easy.
Where my money's going.
I got Hartford to the Final Four.
I've had people, in this day and age, I'm 29 years old. Everybody's talking about the betting and the lines and all, DraftKings and all that. And people are asking, Adam, what do you think? 27-point spread. I said, first off, I always think that Hartford's got a chance to win. Well, that's bias, whether that's, unabashed confidence, whatever it may be, 27, kind of seems like a big number. And then I also said, I'm going to be in Indy. I know I told that to you before we jumped on. I'm actually going to Indy tomorrow, going to be, staying over Thursday night and then going to the game on Friday. And I joke with people, listen, if I'm in the stands, the spread's got to be adjusted 2 or 3 points. Yeah. People joke about it, but I've been to a lot of Hartford games at home, and, you can sway the rest a little bit. Obviously, professionally and supporting your team and not doing anything wrong. But, maybe you'll sway 24 if Adam Singer's in the building. I don't know.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Adam, look, I'm so excited to have you on. Have a great time in Indianapolis, too. I envy you getting to go and watch the Hartford Hawks play basketball on Friday.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much. Obviously, I'm going to be, rooting for Baylor other than on Friday. I'm glad to have met you guys, and I'm obviously very appreciative of the opportunity to talk about Hartford and kind of, go through the matchup with you.
Well, I love it. I'm glad that we got to get the analysis. And I tell you what, if Hartford wins, I will not be very upset now. We'll have you on again.
Wins, you have to have me on, next year to preview the season. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I'll be very upset.
Prior to the Final Four, we've got Adam coming on because the Hartford Hawks are taking on, Hartford and Gonzaga in the Natty.
Yeah,
Adam,
we'll see.
Thanks again, man, so much for doing this. It was great. Really great to have you.
Of course. Thank you so much.
All right. That was Adam Singer, former Hartford assistant basketball coach.
Wow.
Talking all things Hartford Hawks. Now I know everything about Hartford. Yeah. I know everything there is to know about Hartford.
I mean, he was an almanac. Like we give him a question and he would roll with all like sometimes you get people that will just talk to talk. He was just giving us content, names, numbers, stats.
I love that interview. That is the number one thing that happened this week on our top 5. The interview with Adam Singer. I got to tell you guys, I love rewatching that until Armstrong waves me over aggressively to watch Florida, Virginia Tech. It's a 1-point game. And then onions. Florida hits a shot to go up 4.
Coming down the court right now. They got to make something happen.
We just pop it up real quick. We just a little bit of
I think
nothing.
That's it.
Board for Florida, and that's going to do it. It's going to be a deep drive to left field.
Is going to win the game.
Deep drive
My bracket stays perfect. Let's check the scoreboard right now. Arkansas is up by 15 on Colgate, meaning I will be perfect still.
Yep.
Arkansas on top of Colgate.
Yep.
Colgate.
Illinois is killing Drexel.
Do it for me.
Illinois on top. Florida's going to beat Virginia Tech. Illinois over Drexel. Tech is down by 3 at halftime to Utah State.
Yeah, I need Tech to win that one.
I could cry right now.
Why is that?
I could cry.
The onions?
Now. Yeah, man.
The first onions. I mean,
first onions in the first real game of the NCAA tournament.
I'm not gonna lie, you guys. This radio show, having a radio show today, is immaculate. With the NCAA tournament going on. Onions in the Virginia Tech. That's the first game to go final. It will be the first game to go final. Virginia Tech and Florida. It was the first game to start. Went to overtime, and there's a tweet out there that says this March Madness is already better than last year's, and I could not agree more.
That is true.
Have our first onions.
Here we go.
There we go. Breaking.
Set the screen. Step back. Jumper.
Onions.
Big time. He is the man. Yes, he is. The Onions. Stepping up. Woo! We talked about he can dance. How he can dance. He can put you on some skates.
The Onions.
The Onions.
The Onions.
Oh, I'm going to go get pizza. I'm going to go watch the Baylor game. Holy cow. Everything about this day. Holy cow already. I'm just flabbergasted after that. My bracket stays perfect. My bracket stays alive. They never should have picked that. They never should have freaking picked they never should have posted that video.
Well, they basically told us to pick Florida. So they, in a real sense, they actually helped our brackets because when they released that video, that's basically them telling the world that they're going to lose.
Right. Celebrity birthdays.
You got any today?
It is Young Gravy's birthday.
Armstrong's got to know this one.
Young Gravy.
I think I know.
Yeah, you know Young Gravy.
Yeah, you know. You've been around with Young Gravy.
Of course you know
23.
Young Gravy.
Okay.
She's kind of an okay guess.
I don't know.
Okay. He's got a young voice.
He just said young. It was young.
Right, 27.
25. Young Gravy is 25. Rapper.
He's a rapper, yeah.
Chance, as in rapper, soccer, hacky sacker. Bruce Willis is how old today?
Bruce Willis is old nowadays.
Oh, man.
No disrespect.
70.
Okay.
Yeah, I think probably 68.
Okay, he's 66.
He's right under me.
66. Just playing the game fair. Playing the game. Playing the game. It should be.
I'll go first next
Harvey
year.
Weinstein. Okay. Harvey Weinstein.
He's old. 87.
Okay.
78.
69.
Is he actually?
Yep, he's actually 69.
That's
today.
a king. That's a king.
Mary Shear. She played Freddie's mom in iCarly.
Mrs. Benson?
Yeah, Mrs. Benson.
Oh, the Benson Bensons?
Yeah.
62.
Okay.
55.
58. 58.
Right there.
Casey Anthony. Remember Casey Anthony killed her daughter but didn't actually?
No.
Who?
But
Casey Anthony, huge court case. No. It's such an intriguing court case. Casey Anthony kills her daughter dies, obvious murder, and then Casey Anthony gets off scot-free.
Well,
54.
She pulled a Jim Boeheim.
Sometimes obvious murder is not that obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim Boeheim.
Casey Anthony, O.J. Simpson, Jim Boeheim.
Yeah, all-time list.
All great at getting away with murder.
I don't know who this is. I'm going to go with 58.
58. She's 35. Casey Anthony. Clayton Kershaw's birthday is today.
Really?
How old's Clayton Kershaw?
Oh, Clayton.
I should know this one.
I'm going to do some math. Hold on here.
33. Yeah?
He's 33.
Wow.
This day in
Nailed it.
sports history. Bet you boys can't guess what happened.
Was it a Grand National? Was it actually a Grand National?
It's Grand National.
March Madness?
Grand National, the 42nd Grand National. Tommy Beasley aboard Irish 8-1 chances. Empress wins by 2 lengths from defending champion, the Liberator. Liberator. What year?
Hardly know.
42nd Grand National.
1874.
1876.
1880. Andrew beat you to a Grand National. Australasian Championships, men's tennis. Adelaide Rodney Heath wins his second and last Australasian title, beating fellow Australian Horace Rice.
In the what?
Australasian. It's Australia and Asia play a little tennis match, and they see who wins. They see who's better.
1988.
Armstrong?
1947.
1910. Yeah, this so wouldn't fly today. How about England? No. Despite a...
Oh my gosh, look at this.
Actually, yeah, let's do that. Despite a final round 24-8 defeat to Ireland at the new Aviva Stadium in Dublin, England wins the Six Nations Rugby Championship courtesy of their opening 4 straight victories.
1885.
1920.
2011.
It's closer.
That's true.
Houston Rockets guard James Harden becomes first player in NBA history to score at least 30 points against all 29 opponents in a single season, with 31 in a 121-105 win over the Atlanta Hawks.
2000.
2017.
2019, actually. It was 2019. Oh, you know what time it is.
Later, guys.
This has been Up-Tempo on your Friday March Madness, folks. It's going on all weekend long. Make sure to watch these games. Baylor's coming up in a half hour. Thanks for joining us all day today. I'm Drake Toll, Armstrong Sims, Andrew Robertson. How about it? We'll see you again on Monday at 11 o'clock when Baylor has punched its ticket to the Sweet 16. This has been Up-Tempo.